Hello, everyone. What is going on? My name is Timpedia, and welcome finally back to the TNT podcast. We have been gone for 5 weeks now.
It's been a while. We've been delaying for one reason or another for a while.
It legitimately was, I think, you both had a delay, then Friedman had a delay, then Tyler had a delay, then I had a delay.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
It's incredible.
Social lives suck, bro.
Well, mine was a work trip at least, but yes, you guys were just being social.
We're being moviegoers, unfortunately.
But we'll get to all that later on. And I'm sorry I sound like this, but I'm getting over a sore throat. But the show must go on because otherwise it might be canceled.
True.
But who is on this podcast? On my right,
As always, it's Friedman, also known as Andrew, but mostly known as Friedman.
and on my left,
Just Tyler, only Tyler. I am Tyler.
and we're here to
Tyler.
talk about a bunch of news. And oh my gosh, I forgot this was a news story. Tyler, isn't this exciting?
Yeah, so exciting. I forgot about it and then brought it up again.
Yeah, that was really
After
funny.
that, you brought it.
Yeah, for everyone's context, I messaged this to Tyler and Friedman the day it was announced, and then the next day Tyler goes, "Guys, did you hear about this?" And I was like,
guys, did you hear?
My response was, "Man, Tyler, you always say that no one listens to you, but boy, oh boy, did you just super ignore the crap out of me."
Old fish
Well,
brain.
yeah, why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I?
Damn.
Denis Villeneuve, the director who's been on a pretty good hot streak overall, I think. He's done mostly pretty good movies, right, Tyler? I know he talked about at least once some movies
He's
aren't as
one
good,
of
but
my favorite, though.
yeah, he is quite good these days, and he's more recently the man behind the Dune movies, working on Dune Part 3 right now. He has been announced to be the next James Bond director. That is wild.
I'm pretty excited about it.
I am too. The last movie that he did that you could even say is sort of close to what a Bond would be like is probably Sicario. Because Blade Runner and Arrival are not.
Did they give any semblance of like an estimated year for this release?
No, not at all. I mean, if Dune Part 3 is supposed to be filming this year, like, we're not going to see a new Bond movie until, like, 28, probably. But either way, I think this is sick. Denis Villeneuve has shown that he clearly, if he loves something, he puts a lot into it. Dune, I think, shines through. Sicario was an act of you look at Sicario and you're like, this guy had a vision again. And I think when I sent the link, there was like an interview where this got announced, and he was very much like, I grew up on James Bond. I love James Bond. This is a very important thing to me. I want to do this right. I mean, with how he's said the same exact things about Dune, and then the way that Dune has turned out, he has more than earned my faith. There are a few directors I could think of these days that I would be like, yeah, go make a new Bond movie, go kickstart Bond again after No Time to Die, and make it successful.
So I'm looking up. I'm fixated on the gap between Bond movies here, and I'm looking up in the history of James Bond. Starting from 1962 until the mid 80s, there was a Bond movie either every year or every other year. Then there was one movie where there's a gap of 3, then went back to every other until the current iteration where we've seen gaps of 6 years max between Spectre and No Time to Die. If this movie doesn't release before 2027, it'll be the longest gap without a Bond movie.
I mean, considering No Time to Die, that's not a surprise.
Yes.
That's not news. I
think
think
was
that's
No
good.
Time to Die supposed to be the last Bond movie ever?
No, but I think we're in the era of, we're starting to see, we've talked about it with Marvel and everything. We're in the era of franchises need to take a break if they expect to live. And I think Bond, you think about it, like, movies like James Bond didn't get made back when most of James Bond movies got made. Like, there was no big budget spy thriller genre. There was James Bond.
Yeah, that was it.
Like, so now we have like Mission Impossible being big, and then we have like, even things like Sicario. Like, we have a lot more action movies. We have a lot more of these spy thriller movies. Like, it's not as necessary, and it feels like you have to be a lot more delicate with it and like intentional with it. I think
Yeah.
other than,
Okay.
and I think frankly, we're coming off of one of the best Bond runs that exists. Tyler, you're free to disagree, but I feel like other than Quantum of Solace, Daniel Craig's movies have been overall pretty solid. Spectre was a little rough, but like Craig has one of the actual most successful runs of a Bond star.
So
Yeah.
interesting stat here. I mean, Skyfall and Spectre did absolutely massive. I think they're the highest grossing, but No Time to Die barely beating Quantum of Solace in terms of box office adjusted for current dollar.
That's not a huge surprise.
I'm
I don't think Bond is
kinda
the draw it
shocked.
used to be. But also,
Yeah.
No Time to Die was like,
Oh, also, No Time to Die happened after COVID, so theater numbers definitely
but
play a
also
role in this.
but also like the way No Time to Die goes is a little more controversial in terms of how the story goes than a Bond movie usually is. So I'm not really
Yeah.
super surprised. And Quantum was also like the second Daniel Craig movie. It also had a weird title. Like I'm not surprised. And also Spectre wasn't amazing. So coming off of Spectre, everyone was like, do I expect No Time to Die to be good? I thought it was great, but it's also like people could easily disagree with me. Roger Moore, his run has some peaks and valleys. Sean Connery obviously is the OG. Some of his are good, some of his are rough.
Goldfinger
Pierce-
and Thunderball are like number 2 and 3 in terms of highest grossing of all time behind Skyfall.
I mean,
Golfing.
yeah, every one of those old songs is such a banger. I was watching a documentary on my trip that we'll get to later, but they mention Shirley Bassey doing Goldfinger, Tyler.
Oh, okay.
Or one of the songs, I can't remember. It was from the Led Zeppelin documentary. They talk about one of them doing background work for one of her songs, and she did one of the James Bond openings, and I'm sitting on the plane, and it kicks on, and I'm just be like, bah, bah.
Old lady to the back of you, like, what the fuck?
Actually, there was a lady sitting next to me, funny enough.
See?
But anyway,
Yep, I
all that to
know.
say, we don't need to go on a long thing about James Bond. We got too much stuff to cover, but I think this is fantastic. I think, again, few directors, I think, could be handed this and be thought to be successful. And I'm just so interested in what a big director brings to James Bond. I don't think, this is the last point I want to make, Tyler, I don't think we've had a lot of cases of big director goes and does James Bond. It's always about the Bond star, but it's not usually as much about the director. This is the first time where I'm like, this is a director that I know going to do a James Bond movie.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess you don't really hear about that. Like, it is more focused on who Bond is, which I feel like no one really asked that so far. It's been like Denis Villeneuve. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Usually it's been about who's the star and the fact that the family behind the Bond movies was always in control, but now Amazon's in charge, and we don't have a Bond star, but we have a director.
Yeah.
Speaking of spy thrillers, though, so while we've been gone, there has been a fair amount of layoffs in the IT and gaming space in the world. And Xbox has been one of the most brutal. And this one's kind of surprising, but I guess not really, considering Xbox really knows how to kill it these days, apparently. Kill it. Perfect Dark, the remake that was announced 2 or 3 years ago, and the entire group that was supposed to be working on it, called The Initiative, are just gone at Xbox now. Apparently, there was a lot of, like, the vertical slice that we saw for the Xbox showcase like 2 years ago was completely fake. They never were going very well. So, Microsoft has this habit of killing these big projects that everybody goes, like Scalebound, where everyone goes, oh my God, how could you do that? And then the news comes out that it was going poorly behind the scenes. But then the flip side is like, what are they? Are they just incapable of making a good game? Because the things they put out aren't good, like Redfall. And then things that they don't put out sounds like they weren't going to be good anyway. So who knows what the heck's going on with Xbox?
I mean, this comes up a lot where game studios do churn a lot of people to the point where the game studio working on this game is not like 99% of the team is not the team that made critically acclaimed game that studio made 10 years ago. So
Oh yeah,
even though like a project making
like Rare doesn't the name Rare doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where like, yeah, you're gonna lose out on the IP, but the question is, was the team gonna ever really produce anything similar to the game that people love?
Maybe.
Big maybe.
Who knows? Big if true.
Well, now we'll never know.
Big if true.
The world will literally never know. I don't know. I didn't really care about it. I know there was a lot of people who did care about it though. And for you guys, I'm pouring one out for y'all.
Yep. Here you go, homies.
When was the last?
Here you go, homies. I'm also pouring one out for fucking Nexus Mods. Nexus Mods is gonna die a fucking
Tyler,
awful
let's
fire,
not get
I'm
into
sure.
that. Let's not think about that. I don't want to think about the fact that might happen. They got sold.
Yeah.
It's okay. Oh wait, you skipped a news story. Ha! I was like, why are we talking about this? Oh yeah, this was on
No,
here.
I didn't.
Yeah,
Oh, I did. Never mind.
Oh my god, it's
It was
fine.
Goldfish Brain.
No.
It's fine. So Nexus
Well,
Mods.
Nexus Mods is dead anyway. Whatever.
It's not.
Rip dick potato chip.
So Nexus Mods is pretty much the biggest modding site these days on the internet. They host. They are basically the life force behind any Bethesda games modding scene. Is uploaded there. It's like them and ModDB are the big ones. After apparently only ever having been owned by a single guy since its inception, he has sold it to a company that is famously known for killing projects. It's some holding company or something. Like it's some no name. It's not a studio or anything like that. So that's unfortunate. I do think that he deserves compensation. Like this guy offered like downloads. Like the only thing you could pay for, I think, forever was like a download speed thing. Like they had like a lifetime pass you could buy for a couple $100 or like monthly subscription eventually, where you can just you can get higher download speeds and like ad free, and that's really it. And that's what sustained this website, where I'm sure they have tens of thousands of unique visitors every month, if not more. I can't
imagine what the hosting cost for the site is.
Exactly. So it's got to be astronomical, but I hope it survives. I mean, this is one of the main pillars of modding. I remember doing KOTOR modding 15 years ago now, off of like, what even was that website? It was like a GameFAQs Splinter site or a GameSpot site or something like that, where I downloaded some of these mods a million years ago. ModDB then picked up a little bit, but Nexus Mods is just so much the modding home for things like I said, like Skyrim. I mean, every Skyrim person who's ever installed a mod has been to Nexus Mods before, probably. So it's wild.
I use Nexus Mods.
Yeah.
What I used it for, but yeah, it's gonna suck.
Yeah. So hopefully they survive. It is news that they were sold, but as of right now, nothing has changed. Obviously, we don't know how long that might last, but I'm sure there are tons of mod creators who are migrating over to ModDB or looking at like other smaller websites to start moving their stuff to, just out of fear or getting ready to move. So, oh God, look. I guess we can talk about the
Nintendo Land. Let's do
story in history.
So this one, I mean, I get it, but at the same time, I also don't get it. So I'll just read this one out. So the Switch 2 is now the fastest selling console of all time with 5 million units sold.
Whoa.
Which is absolutely insane for a game that only launched with like one console exclusive. It's like people will say like the Switch 2 has no games, and I'll always pause and be like, that's a bullshit argument because the Switch 2 is backwards compatible. Like back in the day when the GameCube launched, the GameCube had no games. It had 13 playable games and like 6 of them were ass. Same thing with the not the same thing with the Wii, but with Switch 2, your entire library is playable day one. It's not like there's nothing to play on a Switch 2. If you didn't own a Nintendo Switch and you buy a Switch 2, it's not like there's only 6 games you can play. There are thousands. But I don't understand the rush of people to upgrade their Switch 1 to a Switch 2 when outside of Mario Kart, there's almost nothing demanding this. Like, I'll give it to the
There ain't
Pokemon
shit.
community. Congratulations. Scarlet and Violet, years after it came out, is finally now on a console that can play it. But I don't understand the rush. I understand why people want it. I don't understand why they need it right now.
Freeman, I think the amount of time we spent in the COVID era, everyone wants to buy a Switch, has just... There are people whose only console forever is going to be the Nintendo console. And I think that there are people who are like... I think also the Switch era has shown to like the wide world, Nintendo doesn't lower prices. So why wait? What are you waiting for? This way you have the Switch, and when a game comes out, you can just buy it.
I'll tell you why. Because their shit's always fucking broken when they release it.
That no one cares.
Change my mind.
I'm not gonna change your mind. I'm gonna say they don't fucking fix it. Remember the Joy-Con problem? It's gonna still be a problem. They're still using the same fucking thumbstick.
So what is the point of getting it day one then?
Because that's the culture we live in. That's the world we live in. Is everybody's goes, I've had the Switch 1 forever. I want a fancy new Switch. They're not making a Switch 1.5. They're making the Switch 2. Okay, I'll buy the Switch 2.
But my argument between that is like, what's the point of buying it when it's like later on they're gonna be more available, maybe even
Mario
different.
Kart.
I mean, here's the thing: the Switch 2 isn't unavailable. Unlike other consoles, it's not sold out. You can buy this at most retailers right now because they made so many of it. It doesn't have the scalper problem
that's what
that
I mean.
PlayStation is dealing with.
That's actually a great point. The non-scalper.
I still find it super weird though. Anyway, not like I'm against people buying stuff.
Yeah,
that they don't. I'm just like, why are you guys waiting 2 hours in line to get a Switch 2?
I mean,
when there ain't shit.
I'll put it this way. What I don't understand about it is, as an ex-Nintendo fanboy who had to have the consoles at launch, when the GameCube came out, I didn't get it at launch, mostly because I was way too young for that. But when the Wii came out, it was a new and novel gaming experience, and I wanted day one to play Red Steel, shittiest game that released on Wii, but I had to play it. And then when the Wii U came out, nothing about it was that unique. So I wasn't clamoring to get it at launch, even though I was still a massive Nintendo fanboy. And then the Switch comes out, and I'm like, this is insane. You can bring this you can play Smash Bros. At the fucking basketball court, like in the promo trailers. I need this. But the Switch 2 doesn't offer any novelty outside of what the Switch 1 offered, unless you really want to play the wheelchair basketball game where both Joy-Cons are mice. Unless, but what?
Ooh,
like the
Mario Kart, because it's so groundbreaking.
Also, but the console itself doesn't offer any gaming innovation where you show someone a video of it in action and they say, "Wow, that's cool. I've never seen anything like that before." Like, I'm not criticizing. I'm saying I don't personally understand it. It doesn't grab me the way Nintendo's old, innovative new console would. But
yeah, me either.
But clearly, everyone needs the new shiny. Everyone needs the Labubu. Everyone needs the whatever, and that's why Switch 2 is 5 million.
We're in the world of Pokemon scalpers. We're in the world of Labubu. We're in the world of people just burn money on whatever thing catches their fancy, and for a lot of people, that's Nintendo. And you think about how many people still don't really go for a PlayStation, because you could say that PlayStation still doesn't have much. No one's really buying an Xbox. People are playing games maybe on PC, but Nintendo is the only company that's really putting out these like classic AAA like experience games, and people just go, okay, it's the new Nintendo console, I'm just gonna buy it.
Yeah, same motherfucking shit too.
Yes. But then you look at the video for like Donkey Kong Bonanza, and you're like, wow, that looks polished way better than any other game out these days. That looks fun.
Looks mid as fuck, you mean?
I don't know. Donkey's video made it look pretty fun.
Donkey makes almost anything seem fun.
I don't know. The gameplay just looked fun. For a quarter second, I was like, ooh, and then I was like, nah, it's not worth it.
Oh, so is Tim becoming the Nintendo fanboy?
What?
Look, Tim's been putting a lot of game time on his Switch lately, right?
Yeah,
true,
with
that
friends
makes sense.
playing Mario Kart and bad golf.
But what if we were playing Mario Kart World now?
We did with Luigi, and then we tried to play on the smallest screen ever at Leslie's wedding.
Yeah.
All that to say, I'm not surprised by this headline in the slightest. Switch 2, fastest selling console of all time. Doesn't surprise me whatsoever in a post-COVID world.
I'm not surprised that it's happening. I just wish I understood
it
better
happened pre-COVID
why.
too.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I think I haven't seen the sales numbers, but I'm willing to bet that Animal Crossing during COVID got a lot of people on board.
That's what I mean. Like, I feel like, haven't we also seen the information that, like, the Switch was the most sellingest console, or, like, only behind the PS2 or something like that? Am I crazy?
All right, let me see if there's sales charts here.
We don't have to go into it. Anyway. I don't want to. It's been 20 minutes and we still have a bunch of news left and all of the stuff we watched and played, which is massive.
Okay.
Oh God, this news article was on here before the Death Stranding 2 even came out, and now Death Stranding 2 is like being beaten by many people. There was a headline just before Death Stranding 2 came out, or like a week before that, or that one of the music producers or composer was like, yeah, Kojima said that the testers were having too positive of a reaction to Death Stranding 2, so he intentionally changed things to make it worse and more polarizing. Which
his opinion is just, if the normies like it, I've lost my edge as a developer and need to change it up.
So you know what's funny? Maybe this is wrong, but based on the one of the podcasts I listened to, it sounds like that still happened anyway. That this is like his most normal game.
His most normal game.
I don't know. That's what I heard. Is that
Death Stranding 2?
That's what I hear from the podcast I listen to. To be fair, it's the only source I have, but no one I know, unless Tyler, someone's playing it in your circle. No one I know is playing Death Stranding 2.
The only person I know, two people who've played it or who is actively playing it. One person beat it, and the other is playing it. They haven't told me that it was the most normal Death Stranding game or normal Kojima.
The most normal Strand type game.
Honestly, the most normal game I've ever seen so far was Police Knots. But no one talks about that game because no one's played that game except for me, and I think I'm going to be the only person who's played that game.
Well,
and I'm playing Death Stranding 1 right now, so...
Well, no matter what, it's still apparently sold well and reviewed very well, so it's not like it's not popular at all. It was just a question of it... Hold on. Excuse me. It just sounded like it was slightly less incomprehensible and wild than a lot of other Kojima games. So that was all. Good. Oh God. Speaking of incomprehensible, the decision to make Marathon an escape shooter. Ha 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 ha. So Marathon,
dude, this is
a game. I think this is Bungie's game, right?
This is Bungie's series, from before Halo. Which if you actually know Marathon lore and then look at Halo, you're like, wow, they just ripped like half of all their Marathon work and put it in Halo. Marathon, the extraction shooter from Bungie that Activision, or no, it is Bungie. Duh.
Is Bungie.
I mixed up 343 with Bungie because of us talking about it earlier, Tyler.
Oh yeah.
They have announced that this is on indefinite hold. The wonderful world of Marathon might never come back. Such sad. Oh no.
Dang, I wonder if it's a case of they want to rework it or it's just nowhere near close to being done.
I mean, all the public beta stuff that happened made it seem like it's absolutely a garbage fire. Like nowhere near being done, nowhere near good, just all around a bad time.
Gotcha.
So apparently all the feedback was oops, all bad. So now they're going to go back and retool it a little bit, and maybe it'll come out It probably shouldn't, but maybe it's, sunk cost like Concord. We could have a new Concord on our hand if we're lucky. But yeah, it's just at this point, it's just gone, which is just.
Yeah, I want to believe in the Miyamoto bad game is bad forever, delayed games only delayed for a little while quote here. But honestly, I feel like I don't know. It feels like writing's on the wall for Bungie overall.
Yes. It is still unclear how they managed to get such an insane evaluation.
Oh, for when Sony bought them, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know how they managed that, but who?
And they're never gonna
knows?
beat the stolen art rap either. So.
Oh yeah, there was also that news from the last podcast, I think.
Yep.
Where they based Freeman. I don't know if you remember that. Where
they call it AI generated art based off of an artist
there was an artist who had posted a ton of like marathon-esque stuff, like steampunky or not steampunk, like future stuff, future art on like Tumblr or something.
Yeah.
And then someone at Bungie just ripped like all of it and put it in a bunch of background textures.
Oh, it was like an exact copy. I thought it was like
like they just lifted it and put it in a bunch of background textures in Marathon, and then Bungie was like, "We have let go of that person." It's like, yeah, sure you did. Whatever.
Like exact copy. Like
yeah,
exact.
Not changed, like just on there.
I mean, I can tell exactly how this happened. I've used Google search for images for a PowerPoint at work before, and it's one of those, I'll just throw it in the presentation. This isn't going to get monetized. Then, surprise, the junk level I used for screenshots is now in the game.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm just like, it's Bungie. You'd think a studio like them would be able to, make their own assets or something like that.
Yeah.
You would. Jeez. You would think
Good.
though. No, I was dying for a second. Oh God. Swallowed spit the wrong way. Kids, don't try that at home. But yeah, you would think a multi-dollar company like Bungie, who's been responsible for like their own like creativeness in the past, would come up with something a lot better.
Yep. So who knows? Marathon might never see the light of day again. But I feel like we're. Oh God, I don't want to get too into this. I feel like we're heading towards like almost another video game crash, where these budgets are just getting too big for these games. Yeah. Like no one is getting this $200 million return on these video games these days.
I mean, honestly, what I'm hoping happens is, I'm going to call this the expedition effect, but like if Unreal is easy enough for teams to make games with low overhead, we'll see the rise of AA games in Unreal.
But the flip side is someone has to pay their salaries in the meantime, and didn't most of these people work at Ubisoft for most of the time while they worked on Expedition? Like, wasn't Expedition...
Probably, yeah. There wasn't like... Go ahead.
Hasn't this game been in development for almost 11 years to some extent?
It is. It went under a whole Unreal Engine change.
Like, that's so much time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like we can't keep having these budgets go crazier and crazier and just keep ballooning like crazy. It just feels impossible. Like we will hit a point where it's just not sustainable. I guess, but like how many more times can Ubisoft make like $100 million game that just doesn't make that much money back?
I don't know. Hey, man, who knows? Maybe they'll see if we were segueing into Stop Killing Games. This would be a perfect way to segue into Stop Killing Games.
Well, then why don't you segue into Stop Killing Games?
Segue into Stop Killing Games.
Yeah, because Ubisoft fucking going in on Stop Killing Games. Everybody, big corpo is running on Stop Killing Games right now. I think it's kind of wild. Remember, Tim, when we were talking about, we're like, man, Stop Killing Games is probably not going to pick up any sort of traction.
Yeah, because it was just Ross doing this stuff.
It was just Ross ranting the entire time, and I'm like, bro, this ain't gonna go nowhere. But because corporations, and I guess for Freeman, do you remember what this is? Like us talking about?
I've been following the whole story about this ever since Pirate Software picked it up, and then he released his rebuttal video. I watched the whole rebuttal, and then I've been following along since.
Dude, it feels bad, like, cause I have some people who like I didn't talk to them since about it, but like I have some friends in the other group who like love this Pirate Software guy. Like,
I don't
we
even
were
know who
even
this
gonna.
guy is. Do I want
He's
to?
like, and
He's
he
not
well
that
he
bad. He's
seemed
not a bad
fine.
person. He just has incorrect opinions and is very adamant about them.
I don't know. He might just be maliciously bad too, though. Like,
Yeah.
also the way I don't like his response to Ross's video or like Ross's whole stance. Like, he just straight up calls him a jerk off, basically.
Oh my god.
That's not the line, I should say, but like he disparages him a lot, and he said a lot of things that were just like fundamentally untrue, and he said it in a super attacking, like, weird way, and I was like, wow, what the fuck? Like, what did he do to this guy? Like in the past, it seemed like he was fine. Like, I followed some of his like stuff. Like, he's very encouraging. Like, this guy Tim, for your context, he was apparently someone who used to work at Blizzard. His dad was like a developer over there, and like he worked at some capacity. But now he's like a big advocate for like people making their own games. Like, he runs various um, game jams over the year to like get people to make games and stuff like that.
Okay.
Uh, and he's been going after the Stop Killing Games movement since it picked up a lot of traction over in the EU.
Yeah. I'm not.
Well, they got
I
enough.
don't.
I know that traction is they got enough signatures for it to be like an official discussion in like a EU committee or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, go ahead and say what you're gonna say, Freeman. I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
for
No.
what
It's.
you were
It's.
saying.
I don't agree with a lot of his takes, but the one thing I do agree with him on is that he was against this because he doesn't like the idea of regulating the types of games you can make. If I had a game concept where it could never work with my server offline, the law would now say you can't even sell that kind of game. And I get the argument that you don't want to regulate away certain types of games in general, but I disagree with the idea that you should be able to make these effectively just licensed to play temporary style games.
Yeah. I
Like,
I think it's pretty beat, and it's like, and that's not even like what Ross is like saying, like, because he's like, he's like, why can't we go back to some games where you used to, because that's how it was before. Every multiplayer game in the past used to not have dedicated servers. People would host their own games.
Yes.
yeah,
And it's like, I feel like how come there can't be support for both?
the only reason I'm not trying to like be clickbaity here. The only reason I can think of is games are so plugged in with monetization that you can't release these servers where everyone can have access to the things that you would normally make them pay for. Like, I'll go back to like old Counter-Strike servers. People can customize the living shit out of it, but I can't sell you map packs if Joe Schmo can host a server with whatever map he comes up with. So monetization is probably a big reason why they don't do the private servers, but
Yeah, but come
I
out
hate
and
that
say that.
so
And
much.
also, Freeman, there's like things like, there are games out there, like even Master Chief Collection, you can run the game with mods on. Like, there are mods for the game, and it's like, okay, you can run it with it, but you can't like play things like ranked multiplayer or any sort of like special bullshit with randos. Like,
yeah.
you can only play with other modded people. So, like, there are ways around it. I mean, I'm sure there might be some sort of like weird complicated thing, but it doesn't seem that
Yeah,
difficult
but the
for
like
a
I'm not
developer to
trying to
pull off.
I'm not trying to defend corporations, but for every player who's playing modded, they're not playing the server that you're trying to funnel them into. Like, it's a control thing.
Of
Oh, I'm
course it
aware of
is.
what it is, and I think it's like, I get, but there's two sides of the coin there, right?
Yeah.
You could at least be transparent about it, right? Which, it's like, you know, come out and say it, but like they want to see if they can get away with it, and honestly, they'll probably end up getting away with it anyway,
Yeah,
because that's
it's
just
Yeah.
how it
I
is,
mean,
like
because
every
people are
single
complacent
publisher
and
is
they
in
just
on
don't
this
really
and wants to
care,
kill it.
right? Like, it's just kind of whatever. But that's why a lot of people are pissed, and like I think it's fucked up too, because it's like one day servers for Helldivers 2 is gonna go down, and it's like, well, I'm never gonna be able to play Helldivers 2 ever again,
yeah,
even
because
though
there's no
technically I
local
own that
hosting.
game.
Yep.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think it's fucked up.
I think a lot about it was the game Massive Action Game for PS3, which I only played a couple times, and then I completely missed out on the idea
Oh,
of just playing
Mag.
this like, yeah, the like 128 versus 128 player insanity. And like it's just not a thing anymore. No one can play this
Yeah.
game anymore because it's offline, and it sucks. But I think when it comes to these multiplayer only games, it becomes a weird gray area. I think the big thing that at least I appreciate about the Stop Killing Games Act would be the idea that you must have an end of life system for these single player games that do currently require server support. And I'm going to shout out Capcom for this because Monster Hunter, whichever the current Monster Hunter is, you always have to log into their server at first to play. Although I think you can still do single player to a certain degree. Point is, once the game hits the point where it's like, all right, we're kind of done monetizing this Monster Hunter, we're going to move on to the next game that we're going to sell you. Anyone who owns this, whatever, man. All the shit's unlocked. Everything's online at all times. We're not going to push scheduled updates or shit. It's yours. It's good. It's golden. This is the game. Go along with your lives. It's not. We don't care anymore. And I like that approach. And like normally, I love to shit on Capcom, but I'll give them this one that they handle end of life for pseudo live service games very elegantly.
Yeah. And I think that's all it really is. Like, handle the end of life service better than they've been handling. And even Ross said, like, he's like, yeah, like, I know a lot of this like sounds like it can be, he's like, but really what we're trying to do is like find a way to compromise, like find a way to meet in the middle. He's like, I'm not trying to like take away profitability towards developers because that's, you know, that's how they make money. But
Yeah.
like,
I think
there's got to be something.
There's got to be some way so that a game that you buy doesn't disappear forever. I think that's just really his end goal.
Yeah.
Is like, I want to be able to play a game that I bought forever in some capacity. I don't care if I have to do work for it, but don't make it so I physically cannot play my game ever again that I bought.
Yeah, I mean, I say this as a gacha gamer who is down to a single game that when this game is done, it's over. It shuts down. There's no playing single player on it. So it's really kind of sucks knowing that at some point, even if I'm still enjoying this game, I will lose it. Then there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Nothing I can do because every mobile game is like this. All right,
well,
we've spent a good amount of time on this.
We did, but
let's
it's an important
talk about
topic.
some bullshit.
Oh, so
all right. So
that means Pokemon. Got it.
Yeah. So Pokemon Direct was today. There was a lot of random shit. Like they showed off Pokemon ZA, Legend ZA. They showed off new Mega Evolutions, which is cool because we haven't had new Megas since Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire in like 2015. I forget when that came out. They're having a new Pokemon amusement park in Japan that's now like a permanent thing. Whole lot of nonsense. But the one thing I did want to actually talk about because I'm not playing this. Full disclosure, I'm not playing this. But I'm excited for the existence of this. It's the Pokemon Champions, which they had announced at the last Pokemon Direct. It's basically their answer to Pokemon Showdown. This dedicated, you want to battle in Pokemon using classic Pokemon style rules, go for it, because the Legends franchise is going to start changing how combat works in the game. So this handles the way it was before, where everyone would have to go online and just reassemble your teams online to have these meaningful battles with up-to-date movesets and whatnot. And Pokemon's finally offering their version of it. And my concern was this was just take Pokemon Stadium or Pokemon Battle Revolution, where it's just to slap it onto Pokemon Home and it's just go ahead, battle what you have. But they showed off today that there's a lot more tools within Pokemon Champions. So like if you win or lose, you'll get certain currencies in game, and those currencies you can use to EV train, IV train, remodify your Pokemon stats to make competitive battling easier to set up. I don't know if you guys have ever tried to raise a Pokemon competitively.
No.
But I spent all summer my sophomore year of high school raising a competitive team for Diamond and Pearl because of how time consuming it was, only for the meta to move away for the team I put together. And it was utterly demoralizing to realize you have to invest an insane amount of time to have a competitively viable Pokemon, to the point where I did not give a shit about VGC because I'm like, I'm not going to set up a team when the meta shifts this rapidly. I played briefly on Showdown just to understand it, but at that point in time, I was so far out of what competitive Pokemon was like that I wasn't having fun anymore. But for those who do play, this makes the experience infinitely easier, and I think will actually help the competitive Pokemon community play with legit Pokemon and not have to use third-party sites to play Pokemon against each other. So all in all, I think this is great. What I don't like is they're probably going to charge you separate when this should really just be a feature of Pokemon Home, which you're already paying for. But what can you do about video game company greed? I'll at least commend them for releasing
when it's Nintendo,
product
nothing.
that's been a long time coming. But yeah, that was it for the Pokemon Direct. There's one more thing they showed off, but I'll talk about it during the Weeb shit instead. It's a little more relevant. But moving on. This is something you guys probably don't care about, but I want to talk about this. So
I'm curious if Tyler cares in the sense of like Tyler being like, yes,
so
good VTubers suffer.
there are several major
I
VTubers.
have zero care about it. I always thought it was weird. Like VTubers were weird, but like whatever, fam.
So I mean, how do I put this? Tim, when you were doing your LPs on YouTube, you didn't put your face on screen,
Thank God.
but you were like loosely known by your avatar.
Sure.
Just because it didn't move doesn't mean you weren't for a brief period of time until your first vlog, a VTuber. Anyway, besides the point. So Vshojo is one of the it's like top 3 largest VTuber companies behind Hololive, and I think probably behind Niji Sanji. And it was pretty famous for a lot of these ex-corporate VTubers who worked for larger companies to come to Vshojo because Vshojo was very lax about them like owning your character rights, owning whatever, and it was mostly just for supporting for events and merchandise and just letting the talent do whatever they want. So for a lot of long period of time, it was held in pretty high regard, and gradually some talents were leaving because they disagreed with how Vshojo was running. And arguably the biggest one, Iron Mouse, who I mean, she's won the Stream Awards multiple times. She's outside of Hololive the largest VTuber. And she collaborates a lot with CDawg VA, and they do a lot of charity work for the Immune Deficiency Foundation. And she released a video the other day explaining how, for lack of better words, Vshojo is not paying her and not actually taking their donation money and donating it. They're just holding on to it. So really shitty thing to do. So she releases a long video explaining how she, the face of this company, who has not left despite most of her friends leaving the company at this point, is like, I'm going to lay out all the financial misgivings, why I'm suing them, and why I'm leaving the company. And within 24 hours, every single one of their talents has left the organization.
Sick.
This company collapsed in less than 24 hours after this video went live. And now everyone has released their own video explaining, hey, they also haven't been paying me either. So this company was being absolute dog shit, and now they are not going to exist in a week. So it's just insane to see, not that it's happening, but how fast it's happening.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's the reason I want to put on here is just the absolute turnaround, because the I guess not even the rival company, Niji Sanji, was under fire a lot because there were leaked chat logs between management and one of the VTubers who she quit after getting hospitalized after her second suicide attempt prompted by her manager.
Oh my God.
And for at that point, I think half of Niji Sanji left. The other half is very defensive about the company, and everyone jokes that it's the worst company to work at. And now Vshojo's like, hold my bag.
How?
So,
Because they're gone. Yeah, hey, hold
yeah,
my
because they're
bag
just not
because
going to
I
exist.
don't exist.
Yeah, it's insane how quickly the turnaround on this was. But anyway, that was all I wanted to talk about. Just that this company just doesn't exist for being shitty, which is insane. Either way, all these VTubers keep the rights to their avatars and characters. They're all going to move on and probably just be independent for a while before joining something else. But it's just wild to see this one go. All right, enough VTuber anime bullshit. Let's talk about Cardboard.
Oh yeah, so this is just a quick one. I just wanted to touch on this because this is pretty exciting. So we had Final Fantasy for Magic, best-selling set before it ever came out. Probably not something that's going to get eclipsed for a little while. I don't think Marvel and Spider-Man or Avatar are going to beat it. We've talked about that. But nestled in this year is, Freeman, you want to hear something scary? This is the last in-universe set to come out for Magic for the rest of the year.
We have Lorwyn announced, but outside of that, those are the only two announced in-universe sets at all, right?
Yeah, Lorwyn got moved to next year. And we will have... we know that every year is going to be 3 and 3. So who knows what the other sets will be next year. But as of right now, Edge of Eternityh just finished spoilers this past Friday. I'm not going to lie, Freeman. This is aesthetically probably in my top 3 after Kaladesh 2 or 3.
I love this set so far.
I think,
everything about it.
I think Magic the Gathering going sci-fi and going to outer space is a weird concept for sure. They went so hard on the art of this set.
They're going to space. What the fuck?
Yeah, they're literally, this set is supposed to be like the edge of the place between planes is like outer space. They have spaceships and stuff. Actually, literally, the new card type that's coming out is spaceships, or spacecraft. That's what it is.
Yeah.
In spite of that, I think all the art they're doing is gorgeous. I think the lands, Freeman making all the different lands planets. Have you looked through the art sheet?
Pretty.
It's some of these are the most gorgeous arts in a long time. I mean, nothing wrong with like some of the pretty stuff from Final Fantasy. That was all good, but like these are gorgeous Magic the Gathering pieces of art that are in
counterpoint.
this set.
I think a lot of the stuff in Final Fantasy was pretty fucking ugly, whereas I think Edge of Eternityh, all of it's very beautiful.
I think the art's beautiful, and I think honestly a lot of the gameplay seems really interesting. I haven't found a commander I'm gonna add. Mostly my humans deck is gonna pick up a lot of new humans again, just like with Final Fantasy, unfortunately.
I'm ready for every set for the foreseeable future doing this.
We need to go back to Bloomborough so I can, or Lorwyn. No, Lorwyn's not gonna.
Oh, that's right. You're gonna get one set off. Congratulations.
One set off from finding set cards for Jarina. But legitimately, the art, other than a few notable exceptions of like weird single pieces of art, but like the theming is gorgeous. A lot of the organizations seem really interesting, like the black and white like human knights whose whole thing is like kind of being like these justice people, like justice warriors around the galaxy kind of thing. It all seems very shockingly cohesive. None of the alien races are like overtly goofy. The power level seems decent, not like crazy pushed. I think they're trying to use like the rest of this year to kind of slow us down after after the shockingly high power we've been dealing with lately. But I think there's a lot of cool designs here. I think the lander tokens are cool. I just think it's awesome, and I just think it's gorgeous. I can't wait to see some of these cards in person. But anytime there are galaxy foils, ever since they got those galaxy foils in the Unfinity, I mean, anytime they use that foiling and that anything like that is just awesome. So this is a home run for me, and I'm very excited to own some Edge of Eternityh cards. And also, this is the last set I'm really excited for the year. I don't really care about Spider-Man, and I don't really care about Avatar. I'll look at the spoilers because that's what I do. It's Magic. I might pick up some cards like I did with Final Fantasy, but like Final Fantasy, I think I was more interested in than either of Avatar or Marvel.
I have a creeping suspicion that Avatar is just going to be a banger set. I feel like there's so much cool thematic themes to work with that they're going
certainly
to
could be.
nail
No question here, but as a thing that I care about like thematically, like Tarkir, gorgeous. I'm not like crazy about dragons. I don't really care that much. The alternate arts wasn't like blow me away cool. And what was the first set of the year? I literally already forgot.
Bloomborough.
No, that was last year.
It was last year?
Wasn't it? Oh god, MTG.
I don't know. Either way, while you're looking it up, just short little bullet point in here about stuff that got released in the last month since we recorded. The Sonic Hedgehog Secret Lair got announced.
That's how forgettable it was.
Oh fuck, I forgot that was this year. Never mind. All right. Anyway, Secret Lair X Sonic the Hedgehog. This one was super weird because it released on several different news sites that don't cover video game news throughout the day. So for the first half of the day, I was like, where the fuck is Sonic printed on a card? All this stuff is like equipment and support cards that all have honestly questionably decent art. And then they showed off the actual Sonic the Hedgehog cards, and more than half of them are kind of cool. I ended up buying the Secret Lair, even though I don't know if I'm going to build two of the decks I had in mind. But at this point, I bought them for collector's purposes. And shockingly, this was one of the first Secret Lairs where they stocked an appropriate amount, and it didn't just sell out within the first hour. This one was up for sale for like several days in stock. So
I think
congratulations,
that's partially because they made you only be able to buy 2 at a time instead of 5.
I wonder if that's really what it was. If it was just people were maxing out quantities for resale. Either way, if future Secret Lairs let me buy it for a week, I'll be happy. So good job, Watsy. You let me buy your product. All right. Anything else on this, or is it time to move on to the Weeb shit? Yeah, it's time to move on. All right. So, talking about making big money. The Demon Slayer movie.
We're back in the headlines, boys.
Yeah, right.
Demon Slayer movie means headlines.
It means we get to talk about Mugen Train again. Anyway, so the first of 3 ufotable movies for the ending of Demon Slayer are in theaters in Japan, and tickets are selling like hotcakes. This is beating out Mugen Train. I can't believe how many losers on Reddit were like, yeah, there's no way in hell any of these movies are going to beat Mugen Train. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you smoking? Everyone who saw Mugen Train in theaters is probably going to see this movie. And Demon Slayer's only gone, despite the fact that everything since Mugen Train hasn't been that amazing, it's only gone up in popularity since. So I don't know what everyone's smoking, but I cannot wait until it's like September. This is coming to the U.S.
September 12th.
So it's can't come sooner.
I only know that because every post about the movie selling record-breaking numbers in Japan also says coming to America in September 12th.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Also, they put out an IMAX poster that was sick looking.
So I know I showed you guys Fate Zero. I've been trying to show you Unlimited Blade Works, and I'm never going to show you Fate Stay Night Heaven's Feel. But that movie series, that trilogy, the last time you Ufotable did a movie trilogy, was gorgeous. So I have insane expectations for how this is going to look. And it sounds like it's meeting it. Moving on. This one blows. So after
this is too funny.
6 years of waiting for Grand Blue to return, Grand Blue season 2 starts airing. In a shocking turn of events, the whole season is done with production before it airs. So Netflix has all of the files, and they send these over to one of their subsidiary companies who's broadcasting in a country they don't operate in. And what happens? But this company just has dog shit cybersecurity, and the whole season gets leaked, including the final episode, which has the surprise season 3 confirmation, completely defeating any hype out of this announcement at the end of the finale, which blows, because I would have been losing my shit knowing they confirmed a season 3 immediately after stringing us along for years for season 2. So either way, very happy that season 3 is going to happen. So far, despite what everyone said about the animation changes, I'm not seeing it. This shit looks exactly the same. Season 2 is just more Grand Blue, which is exactly what I asked for. So I'm happy. We're getting season 3. I just wish we got to hype it appropriately, but that's honestly tiny concern. And the next one, I alluded to this during the Pokemon Direct content, but we knew that they were going to make more Pokemon Concierge episodes. But we finally got confirmation that it will be coming to Netflix on September 4th.
Comfy Pokemon.
I don't know if they confirmed the episode count. Frankly, I don't care. I'm going to watch. This was a cool show. Again. It's probably knowing them, they're just going to order the same batch they did last time. But on the topic of small batches of anime being produced, this one came out of Anime Expo and it came out of left field. So Geeks Plus, the company that runs Trash Taste but is owned by Kadokawa, aka Major Anime Producer, announced at Anime Expo that Giguk is creating his own anime, which we later found out is a 1-episode, 18-minute OVA. But regardless, this is an interesting point because now we're getting to the point that an anime content creator is creating what seems to be a legitimate looking anime.
Wild.
And Giguk talked about it a bit on their podcast that Geeks Plus was trying to do an anime project with Kadokawa for forever, but couldn't find the right person within their company and the right pitch to get something working. So he had pitched this like years ago and then circled around when he met someone else who was on the project after he was off of it to pitch his idea again. And then it got greenlit. So it's interesting to see that Geeks Plus is pushing Kadokawa to let their like Western division drive some type of anime decisions. Honestly, with a 1-episode OVA, this isn't like an insane commitment for them to do, but based on the art from the promo, it looks like it's going to be pretty. So I'm going to watch it, going to support it, see if it's decent. I am super open to the idea of them like reaching outside of the usual like sphere of light novels for inspirations for shows. Because honestly, I don't know how many more. You know, I'm an apothecary who's secretly the strongest, but now I'm kicked out of the hero's party, but I'm also a villainous. I don't know how many of these I can watch. I need something new. So if they can get some inspiration from somewhere else, but keep the same production pipelines they have now, that'd be super cool. But speaking of inspiration from Western media for anime,
oh boy, Tyler,
this is the one you're gonna care about. We're getting a new Cyberpunk Edge Runners anime.
Wild.
Absolutely zero detail given outside of the fact that it exists, which has just caused a huge, I don't want to call it controversy, just a lot of discussion online about like whether Lucy should show up in this or not, whether it should just be its own.
No.
Okay, I've got no skin in this game.
No, I know. I'm just being aggressive because
I am a supporter of the concept of this being an anthology style anime where the only connecting thing is the setting, and just tell a new story with the unique backdrop of whatever the fuck the city name is. I forget. But yeah, this is gonna be good.
Tyler?
Oh, is he gone?
Dang, I was muted the whole
Yeah,
motherfucking
you sure were.
time.
That's
Oh
what
my
happens when you
God.
use your mute button on your headphones.
God damn, I don't even know why I muted. Legitimately, I wasn't. Oh, I sneezed. That's right.
Well, what do you think about
I
Edge
was
Runners?
trying to hide my
Got it,
sneeze. Yeah, I want to see it. I love Cyberpunk, bro. It was great.
Tyler,
I
are
love
you
it.
in the when I was yelling no about should Lucy show up? Are you on that page?
Oh
Making
yeah, I
that
was saying why not?
I just think it should be a totally disconnected story, like Freeman said. I look forward to it being just another, like Star Wars Visions. I liked the concept of a lot. Just do more stories in a world that don't have to be connected to each other all the time.
Alternatively, what they
Yeah.
could do is take the Fooly Cooly route of the next season is not about Lucy, but Lucy appears in the next season. Like have her bridge the gap from season 1 to 2, but season 2 be about someone else doing something different.
It's so.
Like,
I just,
I'm not saying I'd prefer that. I'm saying I'd be satisfied with it. I'd prefer it's something unique and new.
I guess, but I'm just being more assertive in my what I'd prefer is just do something different. There's so many different things going on, and Tyler, I need now that you're unmuted, you can say the name of the city because I forgot to.
Oh damn.
City?
Yeah, I said it like 100 times. Night City.
Night
There
City.
you go.
That's what it is.
I wanted to call it Cyber City so bad. I'm like, I know that's not the name.
Cyber City.
Cyber City.
But yeah, no, Trigger is not known for doing the same thing twice. So I expect them to come out creatively with this.
I sure hope so.
All right. Let's close out. Only 2 more things to talk about. This one's really short. Jam Project, the group that brought us One Punch Man opening 1, is coming back for season 3 in the fall. Honestly,
go ahead.
What?
No,
go ahead.
Finish your thought.
I'll say honestly, whatever. I've heard so many Jam Project songs over the years, and none of them quite meet the hype of that first One Punch Man.
Okay,
opening.
that's what I was gonna ask. Was season 2 as good or no?
I don't think they did the opening to season 2.
I thought the whole point was they're coming back for 3 because they also did 2. I thought it was like they've done both, so they're doing the third.
Jesus Christ, it was them. This doesn't even remotely sound like. Oh no, it sounds like I'm in the chorus. Yeah, Jam Project is okay. Honestly, I'm really hoping they figure out why people didn't like season 2 and correct. Because knowing JC staff, they're just not going to, and this is going to be a disappointment. But this is more just a reminder that One Punch Man season 3 is happening. For the love of God, please don't fuck it up.
Still the highest anticipated thing from the future category on Mal. Like nothing has come along and had more people mark it as plan to watch than that show on Mal.
Like, just take a show that's famous for not phoning it in and being an impressive project and hand it to the studio who's famous for being able to phone it in on a budget. Like, I just don't get it. But it is what it is. Why they gave it back, I'll never know. But let's close it out. We got one last super minor thing to talk about. Oh, wait. It's that time of year again. It's the Waifu Wars. It's back. We got new hard hitters this year. I'm not. This is just my favorite little bit. This year's fun just because there have been a lot of major shows in the last 2 years who are now eligible to be voted on. So we got big
namely
like
Freeran and Apothecary Diaries.
Freeran,
who are both charging up the charts.
We got Marin from Dress Up Darling. We have all the girls from Ocean Oko are now valid picks here. Like this is very much a season of how dominant are the new anime going to be? Because
the answer is very. I don't think a single one from
it's
either
gonna
of those shows is lost
annoying.
yet.
I'm very excited to get very salty.
Freeman.
Yeah.
So while you were doing the other news stories,
Did you vote?
I voted today while you were talking, because also the results from yesterday are out. And as Tyler was hurt yesterday, I am sorry that you are hurt today. Because your favorite Food Wars character was already knocked out in round 1.
Wait, Megumi got eliminated?
She got 2-1 practically.
Yeah, it's honestly, the years of her getting hate picked into the finals are far behind us. It'll never happen again.
Honestly, even Konosuba Megumin didn't crush her win that much. But yeah, so I'm sorry to say that your number 2 girl is already gone.
Honestly, she
has not
made it.
Alice also got kicked.
Alice got eliminated. I think Arena is also out too. Like honestly, everyone's out. I've had to set the fact that Food Wars is an old anime, and not like Food Wars isn't actually that good of an anime.
Nope, it sure isn't.
But I enjoy it for what it is. As long as I don't know. Megamine got
Look,
almost 4-1 on her opponent,
Violet actually was like the third most dominant matchup of her bracket when she won on day 2. So I'm riding high, baby.
yeah, thankfully I missed yesterday's, but there's only
I
like
did
2
too.
that I
I'm
would have
so
voted
mad.
that I would have voted the other way. So I'm not salty yet, but I can feel it because all the quintuplets have much more difficult matchups, and
They
I
sure
can't.
do. I voted against the quintuplets a bunch of times already.
I mean, I've only voted against the War Criminal. The other ones I'm voting for them.
The war criminal. I like how that's how she'll always be. We'll
It's
never say her
hilarious.
name again, but she is the war criminal.
Like we were going through I think it was the one day that Tim, you and I were looking at them in person. I was like, oh no,
Yes.
they're up against someone who's going to crush them. And then I realized which of the quintuplets it was. I'm like, oh wait, never mind.
They're fine. Wasn't
Yeah.
that day 1? 2 of them were up. Mina,
bracket
who is
A.
it? Nino or Yotsuba? Is that one of the 2?
I mean,
Nino is very highly. She's 96 seed. Is that her? The one you're talking about?
no, Nino's good. She's
No.
She beat one of the
Man,
girls.
Nino wasn't good. She
no,
didn't
but she
start
was
off
the
good.
worst. No, she starts off by fucking
The-
drugging the main character to get him off her tail.
The winner only won her matchup by 40 votes against some girl I've never heard of. Dude, Freeman, you were talking about new show dominance, by the way.
So all right, hold. So this is the one I was memeing about. So Yotsuba is the one who actually, spoiler it.
Yes,
Yotsuba is the one who won, but Gold Ship is the memeiest Uma Musume character because she's based on a horse that famously was the fastest horse the year it raced, and then just didn't want to race in half of its big races. So in the Uma Musume universe, it ignores your training half the time. It's straight up just like the fastest horse in the game, and it drop kicks you instead of celebrating with you when you win. Like, she is the troll character, and because of that, she's insanely popular.
And yet she
almost
lost.
beat Yotsuba. Thank
Freeman,
God.
I
can't take these fucking Umas winning.
Freeman, I think that means next year Uma Musume starts really charging up the charts, unfortunately.
So here's the problem, and it's got the same problem that Fate has, where the tournament only lets 5 characters per franchise enter. So
wow, the quintuplets really set that rule, huh?
Yeah. No, honestly, it was Hero Academia that caused them to set it, because it was the one year that it was in, like, random ass side characters were getting in and knocking out legitimate people just on the pure popularity of a show. And they're like, we need to limit IPs, which I'm perfectly fine with.
How is Bocchi the 8th seed? That's so crazy to me.
Wild.
Mao Mao number 1 seed, though, is like the new girl dominance. No kidding.
It's insane. It used to be dominated by the Konosuba girls. Now it's just not. No one cares anymore.
Anyway.
Yeah, anyway, that's
it's voting season again.
That's it for the Weeb shit. We're gonna enjoy this while it lasts. I doubt we're gonna record before the conclusion. So probably the next time we talk, we'll talk about the top 8.
Fern is 3rd seed. Crazy.
Not surprised.
I'm not surprised. Oh, also Ubel is 6th seed. Talk about dominance of new shows. Jesus.
Popularity of Freeman. This is what I'm talking about. Like Ubel is the new Hayasaka, where she's gonna make it to quarterfinals for some fucking reason.
Because the nerds are gonna really those armpits.
I'm ready for some salty screaming.
Salty screaming. Jesus.
Hey, but speaking of salty screaming, let's talk about what we watched and played for the week.
There's so much that we watched and played. I'm going to race through this, no matter what Tyler says. So, or just to talk about it. So we haven't recorded in so long. Spring anime season ended, and I finished all the shows I was watching. So I'm going to go through, what is the final count? 8 shows, only 2 of which I think you've watched, Friedman? 3? 3, I think. No, 4. God, Anyway, you'll add in where you get to.
But I watched 5 of these.
Okay, wow. So I just want to say, for the last anime season, everyone was talking about how it was a lull season, how it wasn't very interesting. This is one of the highest and most rated and most successful seasons I would probably guess that I have had in a long time. I was watching a lot of shows during this time, and I loved a lot of this anime. So, there are still shows that I think I would rather go back and watch. We haven't really picked up much new this season, but there is still stuff from the old season that I want to go get. But I loved almost everything we watched this past season. So I'm going to go through them really quick. Windbreaker, Season 2. Freeman, I've never seen Tokyo Revengers, but I have been desperately trying to convince you to make this one of your shows that you watch soon, and I think you've said you're probably going
I'll eventually watch it because the gangs were the best part of Tokyo Avengers. The main character and the time looping bullshit was the worst. So Windbreakers does the delinquents being delinquents well, then I'll enjoy it.
Windbreaker does some extremely good character build-up. There are some fantastic characters in the show. Sukuna, actually, the main character, is excellent. The animation for the fights is so visceral. Few shows, I feel, match the impact of a fight in Windbreaker. I don't remember if season 3 got confirmed, but they are so very clearly built. Like it is literally a cliffhanger for another arc. So I'm praying that it's just a question of when, not if, for another season of this. Well, I should actually open Mal so I can say what scores I gave stuff.
Also, every time you say Windbreaker, I just giggle.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. The fart anime.
Yes. But it was excellent. I gave it a 9. It is actually tied with, just for a question of how good this season was, 3 other shows that I'm going to get to got 9s this season. So that's pretty much my highest score, unless it's like a god tier show for me. Next on the list is actually the last thing Freeman and I finished watching from the last season. Rock is a Lady's Modesty. Continuing in our
good show.
Continuing in our watching a band show roughly every other season. This was actually awesome.
The CG motion capture for the performances was phenomenal.
It was
the
excellent.
Music was good.
Yeah, the animation 3D, the 3D sections rivaled Girls Band Cry.
I would say Studio Orange, who's kind of like the front runners of CG.
Yeah. I think Girls Band Cry edges it out slightly overall as a show also, but this was just such an awesome, well-contained little package. There weren't any crazy surprises, but the music was rocking. And the characters, the pop-offs they have after their performances were genuinely hysterical. Like, the best part of a rock performance wasn't just the performance, it was also the hilarious like fights they had afterward, screaming in each other's faces. That was awesome. This actually, Freeman and I talked about it after. I think, Freeman, for me, this is just below Girls Band Cry in terms of girls band recent shows.
Yeah.
Bocchi I don't even really count because Bocchi's almost more of a comedy than like a band show.
Yeah, I don't love it. I mean, I like the music, but I don't love it for the music. I love it for the social anxiety. But
this beats out Jellyfish Don't Swim in the Night for me. I think that show I've lost memory of over time compared to Girls Band Cry in this, but this was so much fun. I don't think it will ever get another season, but having also a band that is an instrumental band is really wild in today's day and age, where like the only thing you're just hearing music. There's no singing, there's no lyrics or anything. So the only lyrics you hear are like the ED and the OP. That's it. Freeman, do you have anything else you want to say before I move on?
No, I think this is one of in terms of the actual music in the show, this is one of the best. Yeah. Like, I've been listening to the soundtrack and they shred.
Yeah.
They're very good.
Apothecary Diaries is almost too perfect to talk about. Like, season 2 is just as good as season 1. I don't know if the next anime is going to be a sequel or another project, but either way, more Apothecary Diaries is going to be great. Mao Mao is legitimate. There's a reason she's now 1 seed on the Best Girl. I wouldn't be surprised if she wins this year, frankly, Friedman.
I wouldn't be either. This show has unique characters, unique setting, like compelling plot lines. It doesn't have any anime bullshit. Like it's got like it's normie approved. Like it's a good anime.
The only mark I have against it, Freeman, you're done with it, right?
No, I have 4 episodes left.
Okay. The only thing I want to say that bothered me a little bit is some of the political drama stuff is getting a little too complicated in the last few episodes.
Yeah, they're also trying to tell you as little as humanly possible about it, while also
there's a lot of this person is actually this person's son, and this person was married to this person, but actually they left them for this person, but they didn't want to leave them, so they still have this other relationship. It's like almost too much to track. Like, I feel like this is a show where I almost need a chart to show me what I'm supposed to know. It doesn't even have to be what you could figure out. Just show me the known information, and I'd be thrilled. I think Val actually pulled out a chart at one point and was like, "Here's this person thinks they're this person's son, but they're actually this person's son." It's so much.
They don't know that she's actually this person's daughter, who doesn't know that that person is actually this guy's dad.
Yeah, but they are. The show's gorgeous. The stories are great. The arcs are great. I think I gave it. What did I give it? I'm gonna check my scores again. I gave it another 9. Like, I think the only reason Apothecary doesn't make a 10 for me is because it doesn't grab me as much as a lot of shows. Like, I love Mao Mao and Jinshi, but I don't have a strong attachment to them. It's like, look at that gorgeous piece of art that I recognize as excellent. It just doesn't resonate me in the way that something like Violet Vinland for Frieren or Dandadan did. Just on a base level, but it's still fantastic. What I wasn't expecting to be fantastic, and a show I want Tyler to watch desperately, is, and a show that I actually also gave a 9, never would have guessed, My Hero Vigilantes. This show,
Villanti.
I like to think part of the reason I loved this season of anime is because every single day there was a show that I wanted. I was like, I need to get off work or sneak away at work and watch this show. And Monday was Val and I put Henry to bed, and we go downstairs and we watch Vigilante because we both desperately wanted to see the next episode of Vigilante. I think seeing some of these characters, seeing what the Vigilantes are doing on the ground, I think the stories they're telling in the past, like with small characters, I think Knuckle Duster is one of the coolest Batman-esque characters I've ever seen. I think Zakrola or the Cruller, Friedman, is such a goober. He is Deku without the crazy all for one. Like, he's just Deku with a very lame power, but he has the same spark and the same wholesomeness of Deku, which I love. But he's older also. He's not a school kid. He has a job. And then Pop Step is a very funny take on the I'm an idol, but I'm also super shy. And the stories they tell, a lot of the animation, this was so much fun to watch every week. I remember laughing hysterically at a lot of the Knuckle Duster scenes, especially, but all the stuff they do, I was just and seeing glimpses of characters, seeing Ingenium from before it was Ida, his brother.
Yeah, I'll say we get a lot of random cameos. I think Eraserhead has 3 cameos in there, but in the Ida's older brother plays a significant part in this. So it's cool to expand on a character we know about, but we haven't seen in the original series because he's not a hero anymore. Oh my god, you're super villain laugh over here.
Sorry, I just
one day I'll get out of my normie show madness probably, and
Tyler, look, it's gonna be if you don't think it's entertaining, then don't even bother finishing it. It doesn't have big impact on the My Hero story. I thought it was so much fun. That's the name of the game. Is I thought Vigilantes was so fun, and it score wise, it's now better than most My Hero seasons in Mal for me.
I'm curious where its scores actually compared. So I'll look that up on the side while you keep going.
I want to just a couple more. This is actually the most. I'm excited about this one. I've been waiting to talk about Apocalypse Hotel, because this is the next show. Especially with Uma Musume happening, and Cygames earning billions of dollars from Uma Musume, as Friedman well knows, against his will. Cygames has been doing this thing that I've been talking about for seasons now, where they seem to take all that Uma Musume money and just make a crazy show. Bravern was one of my picks of last year. I finally got Freeman to finish it. Freeman didn't like it as much, but Bravern is such an effort to do something weird, Friedman. I think it can't be denied. And that same energy came to Apocalypse Hotel. I mean, you just think of the concept. What even does that mean? the concept of the story is there's a hotel run by robots and a virus, makes humanity abandon the Earth. And what does that hotel that's run by robots waiting for humans to come back look like? And this was, I think, the only show that made me cry at any point watching shows this season, I think, was Apocalypse Hotel, more than once. The animation is gorgeous. You genuinely never know where the show is going to go next. I don't think we're ever going to see more of this show, and that's okay. But this was one of the most special 12-episode runs. This was one of my other 9s of the season, was Apocalypse Hotel. Freeman, I think I've told you this is the top of my Friedman, you should try this when you have time to focus on a show list. And I've told Val that whenever she has time where she should just watch an anime, if she ever gets out of her cooking and home buying shows, home reno shows, this is one of the anime that I would actually tell her she should watch on her own, because I watched this solo, and I remember refreshing Crunchyroll during Thursday afternoons to wait for the show to come out. I loved this, and I think this was a really cool, special thing. And I would recommend this to anybody. It's so interesting and weird, and if you don't vibe with it, that's fine, but I did, and I loved it.
What's the actual genre? It's listed as just sci-fi. Like
It's almost slice of life if you think about the way the robots live day to day.
I mean, more in terms of like the episode plot lines. Is it like
it's I can't answer that. It's almost
all right.
it's kind of slice of life in the sense that no episode is usually directly plot relevant to each other, but there's also all the background world building that goes into each episode. So it's like the whole story makes progress, and there is episode to episode very set plot points. That's all I want to say. I really don't want to give anything away. I think if you watch 2 episodes of this show, you'll know if you're hooked or not. That's all you need. Not even the 3-episode rule, the 2-episode rule will tell you. Oh God, the one stinker. I just put it as Sword Bumpkin. God, I'm taking way too long. I'm really trying to race through these, but I need to talk about something. This is going to be quick. Sword Bumpkin, a.k.a. From Old Country Bumpkin to Master
Swordsman.
Me, Freeman, and Val watched this show. This show is generic slop. We thought it might be more.
Sucks.
It was just boring. I don't care about season 2 at all.
Take your normal, I'm overpowered and I have a harem, but like change up the format that it's not about some self-insert dude. It's about an older guy, and he actually expresses zero interest in his harem because he's not a creeper. Like, that was the twist, and that wasn't enough to make it good.
The same way Kaiju number 8 is supposed to be the shonen for middle-aged people like us, people in their 30s. This is the self-insert show for people in their 30s who want to be in like an isekai, except for the fact that they do have a harem of young girls, but they're not. He's not interested in the harem at all. He just goes, "Oh, that's cute that they're interested. They're my students. I could never be interested in them." There was the only redeeming thing was like some cool CGI fights. That was pretty good, Freeman.
Yeah, it was.
But the
especially
plot
the
and
earlier
everything,
ones, it kind of the fight animation fell off a lot in the second half. But what they were doing with the CG 3D camera work, it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was cool.
So it gives me hope for future CG anime.
But not for. I'm not watching season 2. I think we established that both of us are like, we finished the season out, and we're not going to continue in it.
Yeah,
it is confirmed for season 2. We're not going to watch it.
I'll allude to it. I'm going to talk about it during my bit, but like I'm done watching season 2s of mid anime just because I watched season 1. I think this is the season where the vending machine came back, and I paused. I'm like, no, fuck this noise. I'm not wasting time.
Only 2 left. Fire Force finally returned after like what, 3 or 4 years, Friedman?
It's been a while. It was like 20.
It's been a while.
22. I think.
I don't think Fire Force has come out since Henry has been born.
No, I'm trying to remember. Was it mid-COVID? Because I thought when Val got sent back to New Jersey,
it was COVID. It was.
I was tasked with getting her to watch season 2, and I failed miserably and had her watch ReZero instead.
So Fire Force, I'm interested to see the conclusion of this story because not a lot of shonen have finished in the time I've been watching anime.
Season 2 was in 2020, so it's been 5 years.
But I gotta say, I'm not like, there's moments that grip me, but like overall, I'm just like, oh, this is kind of the, like, I think of that fight against the dragon guy, Freeman, and I'm just like, Jesus, this. You said, I'm gonna let you repeat what you said because you explained it perfecly.
What I fucking said. Can you repeat what I said?
Bleach.
Oh, yeah, it's all right. So yeah, so the opening of the season starts with like 8 characters captured, and it seems like this is gonna be the plot of the season. And I'm thinking back to Bleach season 2, where the best season of Bleach is Ruki is captured. We have to break in. Everyone's our enemies, and we got to slowly work our way to the final boss to get him back. And in Fire Force, the main character gets to the final fight, dude, at the end of episode 1. But then the fight doesn't happen for like 3 episodes. So they've had this weird management of hype where they put it up front and center and then they slow trickle it after already hyping you up. And it became go ahead.
Go ahead. No, keep going. I thought you were.
I was like, honestly, after all the hype for it, it became kind of a nothing burger fight. I was a little disappointed at the end of it. Like the rest of the season had some cool bits, but like the thing they initially hyped up wasn't even that exciting for me.
I was gonna say, honestly, the fact that while they're standing there doing nothing, all the other side characters are just doing a fight one at a time. And it's like, oh my god. This is like literally the entire other rest of the Fire Force is right there at one door, and they're just like, let's take one chance, 1-on-1 against an enemy, one at a time. And then it took, oh my god. So
it was poor structure to this arc.
This was pretty mid. Apparently it gets better. There was definitely some pretty animation. Like I think of the final fight of the season where Mr. Businessman shows back up, Freeman. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, he had good.
Also, the last 5 minutes of the show was like a mind fuck. It was like freaky shit.
Yeah.
The most sudden horror anime I've ever seen. It was fine. I'm gonna finish out Fire Force. I'm committed, and I'm not so against it like what you're gonna get to, Friedman. But Fire Force is okay. And then last but not least, How to Be Ordinary. Season 2 came out. Val and I absolutely loved this, even more than Season 1, I think. Talk about somehow making the most exciting mystery out of literally nothing. I don't want to give anything away. If you liked Season 1 of Shoshimin, you'll love Season 2. I loved it. Val and I rated it very highly. If you didn't like Season 1, this show's not going to be for you. It's not going to turn you around. All right, Freeman, your turn to do some anime after I took 25 minutes.
All right, so we'll go fast. This is part of the overarching theme of I'm done. There was a show that came out, I think it was mid-COVID, called Aharon-san. Short version of this was girl's very quiet, very meek. She has to like come up to people and whisper to talk to them, so it weirds people out. Except for main character Goober, who doesn't mind. So the two of them form a friendship where they're always just like physically on top of each other, and they had great comedic timing. I enjoyed Season 1. It fits into what the genre is now known as status quo romance, where it's just will there or won't they, it never moves. But with the Haran-san, it actually ended with them getting together Season 1, so I loved it. Season 2 comes back, and it's very much more of the same. And it's not any better, it's not any worse. And I'm sitting here, and I'm watching the whole show, and I'm like, there's nothing wrong or worse than Season 1, but why am I not enjoying this? And I think I'm just kind of over this genre as a whole. Like, I've seen enough. So I finished out Season 2. I think the epilogue was phenomenal.
I am satisfied.
But the middle bits of being like, let's just hit every single like slice of life anime trope we can possibly imagine that we didn't already do well in Season 1. Overall, it was okay. If you like Season 1, it's more of the same. I've just kind of grown out of it. So I'm fighting the urge to. I see new show. I look at the genre. I pause and I say, you know what? Even though this has an interesting premise, I can already tell what this is going to devolve into. I'm good. So I have actually not picked up any anime in this genre this season, except one which I dropped. I'll get to in a second. Show 2, Tim, I know you dropped this one. I think you were perfectly justified in dropping it based on how it played out. The show Kowloon Generic Romance.
I don't know, man. Everyone on Reddit's like, this is the coolest. This was the best show of last season.
I don't get what they're on. Like, it's a mystery anime that from the very beginning explains the mystery and says, but we don't understand how the last 10% works. And the whole mystery is solving for the last 10%, which I didn't think was phenomenal. I thought the characters are great. The aesthetic was great. The mystery was not engaging enough. And I think that's what kind of lost me on it. Like, the way it plays out, at no point did I say this doesn't make any sense. It was all in the way that they explain it to you, the viewer, that I thought made it not that enjoyable to experience, which kind of sucks. Because overall, I want to see more shows about adults with real jobs, solving mysteries, having legitimate romances, dealing with actual real people problems. But like, get the mystery right. I don't know. But it resolved. So like, there's not gonna be another sequel to this or anything. So I'm all for complete plot lines. But speaking of incomplete plot lines, Gundam G-Quacks. So I think I talked about it during the last episode because it was mid-season, and listeners, I'm just gonna spoil the whole thing for you. So
Yeah.
Gundam, this show opens trying to pretend it's alternate universe Gundam. You don't need to know anything. Please, newcomers who've never bought our plastic model kits, come watch this cartoon. And then 3 episodes in, it's like, ha, surprise! This is Universal Century, but it's an alternate retelling. And then by episode 4, they completely ditch the whole underground Gundam fight storyline, and it's straight up just we're redoing Zeta Gundam. And I'm fine with this, but it was only 12 episodes. They did not have anywhere near enough time to develop their characters, the alternate plot line, any of the mobile suits outside of the G-Quacks. None of them showed up for more than 1 episode besides the Red Gundam, which mysteriously disappeared. It was very much a fan service show for people who watch Universal Century. So if you've seen UC, go watch this. It was very cool, but I'm not going to say this is a good show. This fucking sucked. It really needed a second 12 announced. Like, remember at the end of Witch Mercury season 1 where it felt like, oh, well, thank God there's 12 more episodes because it felt like nothing happened? That was this whole show, which sucks because the plot was really fucking cool. It was just executed poorly. Oof. I don't know why they cut it in half. They could have sold so many more model kits. And clearly something happened because half the model kit, like the show's over, and half the model kits still haven't released. Like by the time Witch from Mercury was done, like I was spoiled to the ending because the Calibarn came out the day that the finale aired.
That's right.
Like you go and you watch the episode. If you lived in Tokyo, you can go down the street and go buy the kit. We are still waiting for the Red Gundam that showed up in episode 1 to release.
That's pretty
so
fun.
I don't know what Bandai was doing with this. Like it very clearly was a we want to sell more kit style show, but then they forgot to sell the kits. So
speaking of Gundam Wing 30th anniversary Comic-Con panel in 2 days. Very excited.
I mean, I'll temper your expectations.
They're not going to announce.
At G Gundams, they announced a light novel.
Yeah, they're not going to announce anything. But hey, the voice actors from the English dub are going to be there, 3 of them. So.
Oh, it's going to be cool.
Anyway, keep going. Good.
On to shows for this season. So I dropped Rent a Girlfriend season 4.
Woo!
In the time since season 3 came out, season 3 was the season where there was the most character development. Since then, people were memeing that the manga doesn't progress. It's just they're stuck in the same loop of Kazuya does something nice for the girl he's renting. It seems like they're going to get together, and then she tells him straight to his face, "I don't like you like that, and I need to keep this job in order to maintain my lifestyle." And he says, "Okay." And then the next arc starts over, and they redo it. And they've been doing this for years in the manga. And they finally got to the arc that seemed like it was going to conclude and things were going to be different. And she fucking curbs him exactly the same way, which killed any excitement I had for season 4 because I know in order to get to where they're at now, they would need like 6 or 7 seasons of no fucking character development to get to where they are, where there's no fucking character development. So after watching an episode of season 4, I paused and said, you know what? I know the big meme scene where he like thinks about her getting with another guy and for some reason pops a stiffy thinking about this while he's drowning in a swimming pool. That scene is going to happen this season. And when it does, I will go watch that episode. But I'm not watching this season. I dropped Rent a Girlfriend. I'm done. I'm out. Meme's over.
Nice.
But now to talk about legitimate shows that I'm enjoying. I'm done raging. Sorry, Gundam gets me like that. This is the show that I've been clamoring about for the last week or two. Takopi's Original Sin. Short version of what the plot is for episode 1. There's this octopus alien from another planet where everything's all sunshine and rainbows. This character looks like straight out of a children's show. And he drops down on the planet and says, I'm going to go meet a human and make their life happy. And he looks up and he sees the single most depressingly drawn child I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my gosh.
I will also say that before all this cutesy happy shit, Crunchyroll put 2 suicide, death, and depression warnings before the episode started.
Oh my gosh.
So I paused and I said, what the fuck did I get recommended here? So this show has me so on edge because I'm like, when's the suicide going to happen? And it's just like, the show is anxiety inducing. I was so invested. It's a beautifully done show, even though the subject matter it's covering is really, really heavy. I've seen 2 episodes. There's gonna be 6 total. Episode 4 just came out, and people are raving about this. Apparently, it's the who's who of animators worked on episode 4. And I don't know if the count has changed, but last week it was rated as the 18th highest show on my anime list, based on just people who've seen the first 3 episodes. So I'm not alone in saying that the show's oozing quality, but it's got me like gripping the edge of my seat. Like this show is it. I haven't like made this is. I'll say this might beat out Made in Abyss for being the weird cutesy kid show that's actually terrifying. We'll see, but I'm committed and I'm trying to get other people to watch it without spoiling it because I could describe it so much better, but I do not want to ruin the twist in episode 2. But yeah, very much love Taku's Original Sin. It's on Crunchyroll. It'll be wrapping up in 2 weeks, but it's like a week from this Saturday by the time this comes out. Next 2 shows. One is City the Animation. So I've shown Tyler. I don't think you were there for it, but it was a couple summers ago when the rest of Squad was coming over to my apartment to watch shows. I showed you guys Nichijou, which was this bullshit comedy centric 4-panel comic turned into an anime by Kyoto Animation and given like the full animation treatment. And the author went on to do another series called City the Animation, which is largely the same idea, but the humor's way less absurdist, and it's more just about there are a bunch of different people who all live in the city. So like these 3 girls who are roommates, half of them are employed. There's one about this one classroom. There's a guy who owns a soba shop, and he employs one of the people. So there's crossover between these groups, but they have their own plot lines. And the comedy's kind of whatever, but Kyoto Animation is back at it, and they went like 110% on the animation style. So it's weird that I'm watching a comedy that I don't think is funny, but I'm watching it because it's visually impressive. So kind of an odd show. If any listeners, if you watch Nichijou, if you like Nichijou, I'd say this is probably a must consider. The comedy style is definitely very different, but if you're open minded, you'll probably enjoy it. I'm just here to watch Kyoto Animation do dumb stuff with noodles flying in people's faces. And then the last one. So, as we've alluded to before, horse girls have taken over the Weeb sphere. I refuse to play gacha games, but at the same time, curiosity is killing me. So I went and I saw which season of Uma Musume has by far the best Cygames animation. And lo and behold, it's the one that finished last season, Cinderella Grey. So I went and I watched the first 3 or 2 episodes of it. And I get it. I understand the appeal of this. I am going to watch the rest of this season because if you took out the horse gimmick of it, this is just a track and field sports anime. And it's not that bad, but it's got the stupid gimmick that just like everything has horse puns in it. So it's not terrible. I'm very much enjoying it. The race animations are super cool. Realistically, every season of Uma Musume is completely disconnected. You just need to know the overarching. There are girls and there are also horse girls. That's it. You now know the entire premise of the show.
Good Lord.
But I might watch the movies purely for the animation. Because holy shit,
It's
when
been
they're
a big
racing,
meme thing recently. This
It's-
horse girl shit.
it's a little out of hand.
Everybody's like, Tyler, do you know about horse girls? I'm like, man,
Oh my god.
unfortunately.
The problem is,
Like
and
Fern said, everything's against his will.
the problem is, and Tim, I told you this, that when I was a kid, I used to go to Dave & Buster's a lot, and there was this horse racing video game by Sega. And this game was crazy. I loved playing this game. And I finally saw actual gameplay footage of Uma Musume. And I'm like, oh no, it's the same game I was addicted to as a kid. Now I know why people are getting hooked on this game, because the actual gameplay of betting on horse races is fun. But it's wrapped in this waifu simulator shit that I do not want to go any further into. All right, I'm done talking about anime.
All right, I'm gonna do real movies, and this is gonna go even faster than before. Although Tyler will finally get to chime in. This is just a warning. Don't watch Heads of State. It's a bad movie. It's John Cena and Idris Elba just clowning around. It's dumb. That's it. I don't even want to give it more time. Mickey 17. I went on a work trip. That means I watched a whole lot of stuff on the plane to and from. Watched Mickey 17. It's good. I think the main thing I put in my review on Letterboxd is Robert Pattinson is a very good actor. And he is. Playing the roles he plays in this movie, and he sounds like a different person. The accent he gives himself is wild. It was interesting. It felt a little on the nose. And
A little?
Only a little.
Only a little.
Did you watch this, Freeman?
Yeah, we talked about it on the last episode of the podcast. Both Tyler and I saw it.
Oh right, but I hadn't seen it, and I
You hadn't seen it.
I didn't think I was going to, but now I did. Yeah, it's good if you are looking for a sci-fi-esque movie. It's a fun one. I also watched a bunch of documentaries. Netflix put out more in the train wreck, like mini docu umbrella thing they have. Poop Cruise Project, The Real Project X, and Balloon Boy. They were all pretty interesting. The Poop Cruise one has some of the most insufferable people you've ever seen. Especially this group of 3 ladies who were there for a bachelorette party. Or it is bachelorette party. The Real Project X was actually, I thought, one of the best ones. It's a crazy time capsule. Do you guys know this story at all or no?
Vaguely. I mean, I know about the movie Project X. So
it was basically this girl in I think like Holland or Switzerland or Sweden or somewhere. She accidentally made her Facebook or her birthday party for her Sweet 16 public. And it literally spiraled into a guy picking it up, making it, getting an invite from a friend of hers. It got to like 1,000 people, and then he makes a Project X thing, and it just explodes. And like half the teenagers in the entire country show up for this thing that turns into kind of a riot. And it's just a crazy like time capsule of early Facebook internet kind of like flash like viral culture, basically, and how it just gets away from people. And I really liked that one. That one was a good story, and I think it's still relevant in today's day and age where there's people doing like TikTok challenges and stuff like that just turn into instantly changing people's lives forever. And it's a really good reflection of like how the internet just affects people even like 2 decades later. Like the girl's in her late 20s, I think. It's been over 10 years easily, if not 15. And she's like, yeah, this is like one of the only times I've gone home. I don't really go home all that much because I don't want to be around the town anymore. It's like, wow, that's just crazy. And then Balloon Boy is just a wild one about this crazy family from Colorado. That one was kind of the mid-ground. It was like kind of interesting. Very weird family. I'm really trying to go fast. Flow. Tyler, I don't think you saw
this is the cat one, right?
This is the cat animated movie. This was a cool animation project. I really enjoyed. There is, in fact, 0 dialogue in this movie, and it's very pretty. This is going to sound silly, but this movie feels like crazy advanced PS1 graphics, where it's like the models have a little bit of chunkiness to them. They're not like crazy smooth. Like, I think of K-pop Demon Hunters, which we actually didn't even put on here. I forget if we talked about. I don't think we put it on here. Did anybody?
Please, can I not hear any more about
That's fine.
this fucking
We're not going to talk about it.
Oh my god, I'm over it.
So
Maybe you don't want to listen to the soundtrack again.
So speaking of how we all watched K-pop Demon Hunters since the last time, or Tyler didn't. No,
I saw it.
You were there. Anyway, I'm kidding. These characters, like the fur looks like chunky fur. It's not. It's very smooth and very pretty, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I was seeing like models that are made out of triangles, not out of like smooth surfaces. If that makes any sense.
Oh, like all right. I'm looking at the trailer now. I understand what you're talking about the textures. Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad I'm not crazy.
It looks like low poly models with a heavy blur filter.
Bro, you don't like the demakes? You don't like demakes?
It was very fun. It feels like
for Stray.
This feels very much like this feels like it was a student project that they showed to somebody, and it just happened to be a producer who was like, I will give you $2 million to animate this for real. And that's it. But it was cool and it was pretty. And then I watched Becoming Led Zeppelin, another documentary. I love this as a documentary. The whole thing is just interviews with the band. There's no producer, there's no random fan, there's no guy who's supposed to be an expert. It's the band telling their story over footage of them playing their music and pictures, and that's it. So I if you care about Led Zeppelin at all, I think this is fascinating to just hear the band. And then there's like 5-minute sequences where it's just play a video of a performance of theirs from like 30 years ago. And that's it. So I thought that was really cool. And then last but not least, I rewatched Happy Gilmore. This is still one of the most memeable comedies I've ever seen in my life. Every time I watch this, I realize how much of my dialogue that I share with, like, things I say to you guys come from this movie. And also, it is so funny to me how this movie changed a sport. You cannot go to... I guarantee there is no golf course, driving range, anything in the entire country where you can go and anyone who works there says, I've never seen someone try to do like a Happy Gilmore thing. Every single day, probably, someone goes there and tries to do the run-up and swing. And it's just fun. This movie's just so much fun. Like, yeah, the romance is stupid. It comes together out of nowhere. But, like, all the stuff with the grandma is funny.
Friends listen to Endless Love in the Dark.
Damn it, Tyler. That's such a
Damn, got him.
I eat piece of shit like you for breakfast.
You eat pieces of shit for breakfast?
Shit for breakfast?
Or,
No.
Or, God damn, I hate Bob Barker. Oh, no, the price is wrong, bitch.
Price is wrong, bitch.
So many. See, look, I didn't even mean to do that. We just started rattling off lines. So many iconic
so afraid
lines.
for the sequel.
I told Tyler, I think, the other day, right? Tyler, was I talking to you or Friedman, where I said we should all try to watch the sequel together?
I think it was me because I revealed that I wasn't going to my dad's golf group was having a watch party that I'm not going to now, so right. I'm down to watch.
Dad is watching.
Yeah, his golf buddies are having a watch party when it comes
out. But anyway, it's also leaving Netflix at the end of the month. So if you're watching this before the end of the month of July 2025, watch Happy Gilmore on Netflix. It's hysterical. It's a tight, short movie. Excellent, classic old Adam Sandler. Very funny. And now, Freeman, I'm going to let you finally talk. And I'm done talking for the episode, so I'm going to go get some water because my throat is killing me. So I'll be back in a minute. But you start your real-life shows that I have not watched.
Didn't talk so much.
Yeah, all right, so real quick. I'll do shows, then movies, then books. Because for the first time in fucking forever, I actually finished listening to some books. So, live action shows. The first one I finished was White Lotus Season 3. For listeners who are out of the loop, White Lotus is a show where there's not really a plot. It's about flawed people going on vacation and their intermingling plot lines. Season 1 was done this way because it was shot during COVID and they needed this concept that could just be shot on a hotel, and they've expanded it since. Season 1, really cool. Season 2, probably my favorite. Season 3, major step back. Because in terms of like overarching plot of what happens to the characters, almost nothing happens to any character this season. And a lot of the plot lines fell really short of what I was hoping they'd go with. There's big controversy because there was like a whole incest plot line that no one saw coming. And after I saw it, I was like, okay, I guess if you didn't know it was coming, it's kind of shocking. But because I knew there was going to be one, this was pretty tame compared to what people were screaming about. Overall, I didn't like season 3 that much. I don't know if they're going to do another season, but I'll probably watch just because it's very much carried by the strength of the actors in a given season. But overall, decent show. If you need something unique in it, there's not really an overarching plot, give it a shot. But season 3, probably the weakest of the 3. And the next one I saw, Tyler, you also saw this one. I didn't know you were watching it.
Yeah.
Murderbot, season 1. I finished this one.
Highly anticipated show of my wife's.
Did she read the books?
She's read all the books twice.
Oh dang! Oh,
actually, I think she's on her third or fourth reread right now. Actually.
So I'm assuming you watched with her.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, listeners, real quick, it's about this security bot who essentially hacks his own system and makes it so he's capable of murder. But then he spends the whole show going, I don't really want to kill anyone because then people will know that I can kill people and then I'll get in trouble. I just want to chill out and watch my favorite space soap opera while this crew I'm tasked to protect just does dumb shit and nearly gets himself killed all season. So it was
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
It was a fun twist on what you'd think with a show named Murderbot.
His
Go ahead.
reason in the books, and I think he might have mentioned it in the show, like for a second. I mean, he doesn't want to kill humans, but he's like, but he's like, say if I were to kill all the humans, then who would make the shows? Like, they have to make the shows, so like,
Oh,
I
that
definitely
was his
can't
rationale
kill.
for not just killing everybody he sees.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't want it. Like later on, like in the show, and it's very apparent early on. Like if you read like the first novella, which is like the first season. In case you didn't know, I'm pretty sure you might have been aware. The first season is the first novella, but like it's very apparent that he likes humans a lot.
Yeah.
But that was like how you get introduced to him. Like before he starts making these like relationships, he's like, yeah, like I could if I wanted to, but then if I did kill everybody, yeah, then no one's gonna make Sanctuary Moon anymore, right?
Dude,
It's
Sanctuary Moon.
dude, the
Every
Sanctuary
time it came
Moon
up,
scenes are fucking hilarious.
dude, I lost it when one of the dudes from the enemy team was like finally realized he's been quoting Sanctuary Moon for half the episode. He's like, wait a minute, I know what he's doing. I lost it laughing.
It was good. I so the show kind of disappointed us in that it moved extremely slow. Um and it was kind of a bummer because like when the joke like they did comedy like the joke when the jokes hit, they hit.
Yes.
Um I thought it was hilarious, but man, like I was just like I was out of it and like I felt like I wasn't coming back in unless like a joke was made or a Sanctuary Moon scene came on, and
Yeah.
which I thought was cool. As someone who read most of the novellas and a few of the novels, um, you don't get those Sanctuary Moon scenes in the books. So getting a lot of Sanctuary Moon scenes in the show, I thought was
Like
great.
you just get the dialogue where he alludes to something from an episode, right? As opposed to
Yeah, like
like
all those lines where he's like, "Oh yeah, like episode like
episode
627."
473 of Sanctuary Moon.
Yeah, like he talks about it, but like you don't get those kind of like shot by shot scenes like in
Yeah.
the show.
All right, that was an interesting ad then. I'll say overall, for the first half of the show, I straight up just didn't like his like the team he was with. I found a lot of them super annoying. Um obviously what's his name, Garathan, his whole plot line
Mhm.
by the end he ended up becoming my favorite. So I thought he had the greatest overall arc of the season.
Mhm.
Um but yeah, I don't know. I felt the cast didn't feel super strong with me. So like I didn't love it as much as the people I was watching with, but I definitely enjoyed it. It was funny.
Yeah.
And I will definitely watch. I think they already announced season 2. I'll definitely watch season 2.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna watch season 2 also. We thought it could have been better, but like we did enjoy it. I think my issue has been the pacing. I'm like, you know what? This could have either been a short series or a movie, and I think it would have been better as both. Uh, that's how I felt about it. They also changed like Michelle had a problem with the characterizations in the show.
Of anyone in
Um,
particular, or just in general?
in general, particularly Murderbot himself
Yeah.
or themself. He acts, or at least in her mind's eye, to her in her mind's eye when she read the books. Like, also, I even think like the tone does come off a bit different in the books with him. Um, he's just very blasé about a lot of things, and also he uses in the books he uses the drones more often, which I think was a missed opportunity on film or like on screen actually.
Yeah, because like I don't think they used him until like the last episode to set
Yeah,
up the
like
beacon.
he mostly like when he talks to everybody, he mostly watches them the through his drones because he wants to like kind of disassociate himself. He's like, "Yo, I'm not actually in this room with these people right now. Like they're actually not touching me." Kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Like he's very anxious.
Like he wants to be
And
involved, but doesn't want to be there.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, exactly. He wants to be involved, but he doesn't want to be there. That's exactly right. So also the group, um, they're all like they made them hippies in the show. Like that is not the case in the books,
Oh, are they more
which
like
I don't
scientists in the
care.
books?
Oh yeah, they're scientists and they're scientists here, but like they're your more atypical Like they're not like the hippy dippy flower. Like we're gonna paint the side of our house type
I'm not,
shit.
honestly, if you remove the throuple from the cast, they were all were all pretty much scientists.
Yeah. But I think they were fine. I think Michelle's biggest issue was the characterization. My biggest thing was, I mean, she didn't like the pacing either. My biggest thing was just the pacing.
Yeah,
That was
I don't know.
it.
I will say that episodes felt super short, so I was always at least invested in an episode. I didn't have any week where I'm like, oh god, I don't care what's going on. So I'll give it that.
That's fair. It was fun.
And I commend it for being only like 24-minute episodes. It's refreshing to have a show that does short episodes and is still engaging with an
True.
overarching plot. A lot of these shows like they have to do hour long to get you, and it's like I would like a show with a little less time commitment.
For
So
real, yeah, that was nice at
so I'll
least.
give it brownie points for that.
We want to
All
talk
right.
about stuff. Another thing that we watched
Yeah,
together.
let's use this opportunity to use the shared transition to go into my movies real quick. So I'll just talk about the three that I saw on my the one we saw together, the two I saw on my own, and then I'll bring Tim in for the RoboCop discussion real quick.
Oh yay!
But we saw Phoenician Scheme the last time we were supposed to record. And for
Yes.
me, this is the first time I watched a Wes Anderson film. So I've only seen memes about his style of filmography without actually knowing what makes a Wes Anderson film a Wes Anderson film. I'd say I got a decent crash course. This is a very outlandish movie, and I enjoyed it very much.
And it was definitely like most of his other one. Like literally all of those memes, like it's there, like all the center shots, the ensemble cast, the aggressive use of miniatures. It was all there.
All right,
I
so
thought it was fun,
I got some
though.
movies to watch then after seeing this then.
Yeah, I think my favorite was the Grand Budapest Hotel. So I forget what Liz said her favorite was. Like, and other people like agreed with her that it was their favorite one. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, I think they're fun movies. Michelle is not a fan of them.
Oh, she was so bored during this movie.
Yeah, she was bored. She was like, I don't think I like this movie. I'm like, I figured, but I wanted to invite you anyway.
It's still a fun
Um,
watch experience.
oh yeah, I loved it.
Tim, if you ever want to
Oh yeah,
watch this,
because
I
you
will
watch
happily
F1
rewatch this.
though.
Oh yeah, no, I went to go see F1. So F1
Not
was only
surprised.
in IMAX for a brief window of time. And this is one of those movies where, especially, I always talk about seeing Robert Pattinson's Batman in IMAX and like raving about how it made the Batmobile sequence so enjoyable to physically feel the roar of the engine that I knew even if F1 was the shittiest movie to come out, if I could feel the engine during the race sequences, it would be a good movie. And you could feel the engine during the race sequences. That said, this movie didn't really do anything special. This was a sports movie, and it just happened to be about F1. And it very much felt like the Top Gun Maverick of sports movies. Like we're gonna get Brad Pitt as an old racer. He's gonna come back and he's gonna teach all the new kids how you're really supposed to race, which was, in terms of believability, absolute bullshit. F1 fans will refer to Brad Pitt as an F1 terrorist if he was in real life, because no one can get away
Yo,
with this much intentionally sabotaging the races. Like, he intentionally bumps into someone, breaks off the nose of his car so he can force everyone to pit 3 times in a race. And like, during this movie, every race he does something that has happened in a previous F1 season. But if that thing happened, it would have been the talk of the season for being the most absurd shit or ruling they allowed to happen. And he continuously does these every single race in a season. So it's one of these, they stretch the limits of believability, but it's just at the edge of where it's realistic enough that it could happen and it's entertaining on screen. So I'll give it the pass. I'd say for F1 fans, it's a fun movie as long as you are aware that it's not trying to be rules accurate. And for someone who knows nothing about F1, I think this is a great introduction to it. It does a lot to capture the culture. All of the racers, besides the two main actors, are like the real F1 drivers. So like, there's one bit where like you're supposed to feel sad because Max Verstappen passes him, and I'm just like, yeah, let's go, Max, yeah, first place. Like, it was an F1 fans movie, so very enjoyable. I actually really liked it despite its shortcomings. And then the next movie I saw in theaters, which caused me to miss our podcast recording 2 weeks ago, was uh, Jurassic Park 7, Jurassic World 4, whatever the fuck it's called, Resurrections or something. I don't know. I only see every fourth Jurassic Park movie. So I've seen the original, I saw Jurassic World, and I saw this. So I skipped out on the last one, which is apparently was pretty bad. So I don't really have a frame of reference to work with here. But this movie, honestly, it was okay. I felt like if you got rid of the Jurassic Park branding and just said this is a movie about there's this island towards the center of the equator and there happen to be dinosaurs on it, we're going to go explore it. The plot would have been just fine. You didn't actually need anything about Jurassic Park for the plot line. It was 100% to get people in to see this movie, because otherwise no one would go see a weird dinosaur exploration movie. And it was also kind of split between two plot lines. I had these mercenaries and I had this family. And the family was meant to be relatable, and objectively, the family had some of the best running away from dinosaur sequences in the movie. But also, they were completely insufferable, and I wish the movie just focused on like Scarlett Johansson and the mercenary group the whole time. So it was a little disjointed. The weird mutant D-Rex villain kind of sucked. The movie was way better until it actually became a threat, and then it kind of fell off. Overall, I think this movie was pretty skippable. That was it for Jurassic Park.
Yeah, not surprised. Not surprised.
Yeah, I went in expecting this to be bad. My other friends were like, "Oh, it's reviewing better than people thought it would." And then I saw it, I'm like, "This is exactly what I thought it was going to be."
Tyler,
No
can
surprises.
I ask why Leslie and Liz are like ride or die on Jurassic Park together? Is it just because dinosaurs, or like what?
Yeah, there's nothing more complicated or like simpler than that.
Big
It's just
lizard.
dinosaurs, bro.
Okay,
Yeah,
just
big
checking,
lizard.
because both of them are like, we gotta go see this. We love all the Jurassic Parks. And I'm just like, what?
Yeah, it's literally just big lizard. There's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing else about it.
There's
Okay,
no more
just
depth to this
checking,
opinion.
Just checking, just making sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about the movie I've seen with the most number of people getting thrown through interior windows. RoboCop.
Stop! You violated the law.
The law.
Tyler, you're not allowed to talk about this part.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You didn't enjoy this movie.
You literally commented on my review during this podcast and said that this
Yeah, I
movie
did.
aged like sour milk.
I did.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Yeah. I did.
Yeah,
You're right.
You literally did that,
You're right.
and then Liz texted me while we're here that Tyler's all he does is complain about shit.
I hate that Letterboxd is now our as a group most active social media platform.
What do you mean? It's great. It's very data driven. It's simple. It's clean. It's great. It's fantastic.
Yeah, everybody yells at Tyler for having hot takes.
No, everyone yells at Tyler because you used to yell at me about saying I hate everything, and then you're the one who comes in and actually hates everything.
That's right. No, actually, you know what? I do like RoboCop. I think it was a fun movie, but I just don't think it aged well. Literally, I gave it a 3 because of that.
Going back and watching this after having my first real major RoboCop exposure being the game that came out that we both played, Tyler. This movie was a ton of fun. This is such a good classic, like 80s sci-fi element. Like, this literally spawned out of Blade Runner. Because Freeman, did you ever go watch the movies that made us?
No, I didn't have a chance to sit down and watch it. It's been a busy 48 hours since we watched this movie.
I know it has been. I listened to it yesterday when I was driving because I've seen it a bunch. But like, this movie just is so much fun. It's simple, it's clean. It's also a fun reminder of like, I know everyone memes on this, but we really don't kind of get movies like this that much anymore. But just like all the practical effects, like the guy who gets melted down just to like splatter on the car, all the robo suit stuff still looks good. Like, this movie was just a ton of fun, and I love what's his name, the villain guy who just
Erwin Smith.
Yes, he is.
Dude, he was so good in this movie. Like, I've seen him in very little, so I always just see him as Red Foreman. So anytime I see him acting, I'm like, hey, yo, what's Red doing here?
And just the way he just like chews the scenery every time is just so fun. Like, where he's just coming in and he's just like when he bit the grenade pin and you just started laughing.
Because it was a digital timer, there was no reason for there to be a pin on this grenade.
I don't know. It's just fun all across the board, and I can only imagine why this was such a big hit when it came out. Like, this was just fun. It's I'm not going to steal a line. I really want Freeman. I want you to go see the movies that made us episode, but there's a line that the main producer lady who made the movie says to convince the director to come do the project. And that's actually really stuck with me and really, I think, made this story more enjoyable for me. I really like it. I think this was a ton of fun. I have zero interest in watching RoboCop 2 or 3 because I've only heard they're okay or bad. And I will never watch the remake. Oh my God. It's like in the same vein of Total Recall as like, let's take this old 80s movie that was really cool and interesting and then make it terrible and modern. Yeah, never going to watch that. But yeah, this makes me enjoy the game more. And man, the game really got everything so right. Like the police station looks the same.
I said this.
No, I know you did, but seeing it for myself, like the police station really is like so accurate.
You can agree with you.
The feel of tromping along as RoboCop, the pistol being the best gun that's ever existed. It's awesome. I just had a ton of fun. I'm really glad we watched this.
Having an infinite amount of bullets.
Yeah, when you just
the gun was hilarious.
I even told them about that, Tyler, when we were watching the movie. I'm like, in the game, there's a mod for this that lets you just fire forever, and it's totally on brand.
Yeah.
I do have one thing. It's not a complaint, but it's something that, Tyler, you've made me aware of now. Just anytime someone muzzle sweeps or has poor trigger discipline in a movie, I'm very aware of it now.
It's so funny.
And there's the bit where you meet Murphy before he's RoboCop, and he's doing the gun swinging bit, and I'm like, wow, this is so irresponsible. And then he proceeds to load the gun and continue spinning it. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, you're gonna shoot your partner.
Oh man, this is what Tyler's been talking about this entire time.
Now I'm cursed with knowledge.
It was really funny to have Freeman being like, Tyler probably can't stand this whole part. It was very funny.
Nope. It's funny.
Yeah, it was a fun watch. All right, so let me close out my section and then just surrender the floor to Tyler. So since the last time we recorded, I finished listening to 2 separate audiobooks. Both of these are in the book talk romantasy genre. The first one was the first book in the Court of Thorns and Roses series. I did not like this book. It was very weird. It's meant to be one of those, like, the main female character who you get the POV of is meant to be this bland self-insert. And the male love interests are legitimately interesting characters. So because I, not the target demographic of this book, could not project onto the main character, I didn't enjoy it at all. But I did think that all the male love interests were all phenomenal characters. So I'll give it
That's
this.
Hilarious.
They did a great job at the characterization of the love interest. But the main character fucking sucked. And apparently it gets better in sequel books. And she's also not the only POV character for most of the books. I have given a soft promise to eventually read book 2, but I have not committed to anything further than that in this franchise. I don't think I'm going to enjoy it that much, but apparently the main character gets way better in the second book. So I've been gifted the next book. This one is on hold because I have a couple other things I want to get through first. And the second book I'm actually excited about finishing, Onyx Storm, or the third book in the Empyrean Fourth Wing series. This one certainly... This one was... how do I put this? The first book had 2 spice scenes. The second book had a lot more, and then this one had much fewer for plot reasons, and I, kind of enjoyed it because with this franchise, I was explaining this to Val over the weekend, but like the smut doesn't work its way in. They'll be having a serious military conversation, and then someone will be like, "Do you want to see my cock?" And then just now we are in a sex scene. Like there's zero transition. It just starts, and I really don't like it because I'm like, anytime the 2 main characters are having a serious discussion, but they're in a room alone, I'm like, all right, who's about to just say some like out of pocket sex shit, and now I have to listen to a 3-minute like audio description of 2 people banging. Like it's like, I'll give it to A Court of Thorns and Roses. There was only one spice scene, and it was very elegantly done compared to like the Fourth Wing series. On the topic of this book, though, it's super obvious that when she was writing this series, book 1 got unnecessarily popular on TikTok, and she was rushed to release book 2. And book 2 feels like a mess of ideas changing where the plot's going to go at any given moment. Book 3 is way more thought out and does a lot more on expanding the world of this book. So I very much enjoyed it. I don't know when book 4 is going to be out. There's supposed to be 5 total, but Amazon picked up this series for a live action show. So I'm curious how they handle it, because this will be my first time watching a big budget fantasy adaptation of a show. And more importantly, this is one of these books where like, it's from the main character's POV. It's like 90% of dialogue's in her head. So I'm curious how it's going to translate to a show where she's not narrating. But waiting to hear any news on it, because it's just been announced. They've announcing like production staff, but no word on release dates for this. So
Gotcha.
whatever. But in terms of the next book I'm going to listen to, Tyler, thank you for gifting Red Rising, because I've inspired the book club who's been trying to recruit me to read Book Talk bullshit to, in fact, read Red Rising for their book club. So the book club that I'll be joining temporarily will be doing Red Rising. So this will be fun.
Also, side news on books. Dresden next book coming out in January. 12 months. Let's go. Not how long it's going to be. That's the name of the book.
The name is called 12 Months.
Yes. Which, for anyone who's read the series up to date like me and Tyler, knows why it's called 12 Months.
I got to get cracking on this.
Good luck.
It's so much. There's a lot.
Yeah, I've never gotten through it. All right, Tyler, the floor is yours.
Oh man. I'll run through this. The new season of The Bear came out recently, and I watched it.
Like, you finished it?
It was also sad. Yeah, I finished it. I finished it like when it came out. They came out with it all at once, which I thought was interesting.
Were there other seasons like that, or was it like a normal airing schedule?
No, like the FX was like, "Hey, new season of The Bear's out now. All the episodes are out. Enjoy." It's like, what the fuck? Which is weird because a lot of shows either will do the weekly schedule or they'll do the weekly schedule, do a mid-season thing, and then come back later because they want you to subscribe for another month, right?
Classic.
Yeah, like what Netflix is doing with like Stranger Things being stretched over a month and a half to force at least 2 months of subscription.
Oh my god, did you guys see this thing
Nope,
for
because
that
I don't care
season
about
for
that show anymore.
I saw the release schedule because I am intending to watch it with my other friend group because I want to close it out. I don't dislike the franchise enough to skip the last season.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I like the show. I think season 4 was great even. But man, I thought it was weird as fuck that these kids are just they're grown ass adults now.
Yeah, we'll see if they pull it off well.
Yeah,
I'll wait to pass judgment.
We'll definitely see. I will also wait to pass judgment.
I will only watch if you guys say it's a must watch.
All right, listeners,
I think season 4 was good, so
our review on the podcast will dictate whether Tim watches. So,
but actually,
I don't know.
Get ready
Did you
for
see
it.
season 4, Tim?
Huh? I'm
Did
up
you
to
watch
date. I
season
just don't. It's just been so. We've talked about this. It's just been so long, and I just so didn't care that much about the last season that like I have like no big attachment to the show anymore. Like it doesn't. It's not a franchise that means anything to me in the grand scheme of things anymore.
That's fine.
Synthwave fan, so the show means a lot to me.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's good. The Bear is also a good show. Season 4 was a bit weak. I won't go into all the details, but overall, I thought it was probably their weakest season.
Give me
But I thought it was good. I think the only thing that was really good about this season was that after 3 seasons of just emotional trauma, this was like a feel good season, which I think was probably for the best and also needed, because this is nothing but trauma dump the show. And for me, I can take that for all of eternity, but I know most people can't, so good on the Bear.
But did you feel that like defined the show and now it's different because it's not like that? Or is it still very much the Bear?
I think it was very much the Bear, and I do think it was needed because I do also complain that, like, man, these people say that they want to change or they're going to change and there's no real change, and like it's just an endless fucking cycle. But it seems like the characters are actually going through arcs and they're willing to change. Like I feel like actually the last season was the setup and this season was the payoff. Like there's one episode that's like really fucked up that happened in the past, that it all takes place in the past, and there's an episode that happens in the future that's that's supposed to mirror that episode from the previous season, except it kind of shows where the characters are now as opposed to where they were before the show started, when the show's like actually started, like when the the kickoff point happened and where they are now. So I think it was pretty. I think it's still like well done. I think it rehashes it, but more like things, but in more of a positive light. If that makes any sense. I still recommend it. Show's still really good.
This
That the
definitely been on my
talent,
short list for live action shows to watch.
Same.
it's very good. It makes me want to eat food and say yes, chef, all the time. So
Yes, chef.
yes, chef. I've been playing a lot of video games, but nothing that I've actually beaten. Like I've been playing Helldivers a lot again lately.
So, hold on,
Tried the new.
real quick, on the
Hmm?
topic of Helldivers, before you go through other games, are you enjoying like the new update content since the last time you played?
Yeah, very much so.
Okay.
Yeah, after the big break, I was able to get my hands on some of the new war bonds, and they just have some fun shit. And also, they're just like dumb. Like my buddies and I will just like, oh hey, you want to run some missions and like just bullshit the entire time, which like we'll do. So we'll run some like low level things, and just kind of bullshit. Like I said, bullshit around and like, all right, let's just load up another one. Like it's a pretty neat time killer.
Playing it for fun. The
Yeah,
way
but that's
gaming's
been
supposed to
cool.
be.
Like gaming's supposed to be big time wasters. Big time wasters. No. Um, the new Ready. Oh yeah, here's some hot controversy that is also like slightly news related. Ready or Not got their console update. I don't know if you guys heard about that.
Wait, what do you mean?
So Ready or Not finally got a console release
Oh,
date.
the cop game, Freeman. SWAT 4 sequel.
No, I know the game.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what you mean by like console update. Like, it
Okay.
was released for
So
console and never updated,
yeah,
or like?
yeah. So it didn't get a console update, right? Like it was only PC exclusive for like the longest time, like even
Oh.
version 1 like when it released. Well, finally it got like ported to consoles, and even leading up to that, Void Interactive said like, with this new major update, everybody's going to be like combined basically, right? Like it's going to be
Crossplay?
cross-platform. Yeah, but we're not. So here's the thing. They gave us a laundry list of changes that uh adjusted like gore content, like various content of the game,
Yeah.
because apparently there's some content that the consoles were like, or publishers were like, yeah, we don't want this on our console. You need to change this. Like a lot of the way death and dismemberment works, some of the content subject matter had to get changed, all that stuff, which people were having a problem with, and they still do. But the biggest issue with us is that it is now just not optimized for PC.
Oh,
And Void
no.
Oh
Interactive,
no.
yeah, it took us like 3 or 4 times just to get it running. And it runs like shit now.
Bump, bump, ba
I can
bump.
imagine what the Steam reviews look like now.
Oh, it's review bomb now.
Shit.
If you go to the store page, it is mostly negative now.
All right, I gotta see this for myself. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I obviously believe you. I just want
I
to see what the
don't
reviews look like.
believe you. I have to know.
And it sucks, man. Like it sucks. Like because we were excited. We're like, all right, well, we know they cut a lot of content, but maybe like because they added 2 new maps. Like the maps are pretty cool, but yeah, they fucked it. Also, they reset, like if you're on PC, like they reset a lot of your progress. So now you're back to 0, which is apparently a bug that they're trying to fix right now. And that's like, oh, your stuff isn't gone, but like we have to work to get it back though for you. Sorry. Dude, it's a fucking mess. It's a huge mess.
Mostly
And
negative.
Void says like they're like, yeah, we are aware of these things, but like we don't want to manage 2 separate instances of this game.
Of course not.
And I'm like, I understand, but damn, it's fucked up. Like you're really alienating an entire like section. Like the people who basically made this game popular for you, you're kind of alienating them for
No way.
money. Yeah, I know.
No one
Right? It's
has
kind of
ever.
no one has ever. I'll also talk about Death Stranding. I'm playing this game. I was hoping to
One.
beat it by time. Yeah, Death Stranding 1.
Just so everyone doesn't is like, ooh, Tyler's gonna have a review of 2 coming.
Yeah, no, just in case I forget next time. But I might mention when I beat it next time. But I'm pretty much at the end, and I feel like it's enough for me to give my at least like my like short blurb thoughts. But, man, this game is a Hideo Kojima game out of 10, and I totally understand why a lot of people didn't play this game.
But
And I wouldn't recommend this game to like most people I know. Like, actually, I
really,
think there's only one. Yeah, there's only one or two people. If actually, there's two people I know that I would have recommended it to, but there's only one of those two people already played it. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend this game to either of you.
Really, because like I want to know, like I've seen so many trailers for Death Stranding 2 that I want to know what the fuck's going on. And obviously, I'm not just going to jump into the second. I'd have to play the first one.
Yeah,
But
you'd have to, because apparently there's like things brought up into that get resolved into that are brought up in one.
you mean the other way around? Things that get resolved in 1 that come up in 2.
No.
no, stuff that like stuff that's brought up in 1 gets resolved in 2. So I don't play
Yeah.
1. I won't
Oh,
know the
okay.
background of the stuff that's getting resolved.
Yeah. Yeah. That.
Okay.
Yeah. I might have. Yeah. Sorry if I worded that very
No,
poorly.
I got what you're getting at, but I also understand your confusion too, Tim, because it
Yes.
could have been the other way too, as well.
Yes. Yeah. 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 But yeah. So like it's cool. I think the story is cool. It's the you know why you would have to get past the gameplay loop that is actual walking simulator. Like that part sucks. It sucks. It's just not great. Like it's not like intuitive. Like, and that's the point. Like it is literally by design. I think this is one of the most well-crafted games in that it really gets the point across, and it does a very good job at telling the story the way it wants to. Um, it is a very like what I would say like well-crafted game. And I completely understand at the same time why a bunch of people would not want to play this or touch this or even try to understand it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think it was a huge gamble for Kojima to make this game. And I'm super surprised that it paid off, but I like this game. I do enjoy this game. Like anything that has anything to do with like the core gameplay loop, I absolutely love.
Mm-hmm.
So take that for what you will. Uh, but I like it, and I'm pretty sure I'm probably gonna play the second one. Not now, but at some point in the future. Maybe when that goes on sale. Who knows? I bought this for like $14.
Wow.
I did read a book. I'm a part of a book club too now.
Nice.
You guys in the
Um,
clubs.
yeah, we read
In
Sword
the
of
club, we
Kaijin.
all fam.
In the club, dude. Talk about a bad fucking movie. Oh my god. Um, yeah, I read Sword of Kaijin. It's a book where the author was like, yeah, I like Avatar: The Last Airbender, but I needed to have more spice. And when I mean more spice, I mean like kind of more violence,
Ooh.
like brutal violence. Um, and I thought it was all right. I think it was a self-published book, and I think it was. I was talking to Val because Val DNF'd this book actually.
Whoa.
Yeah, she DNF'd it, which I understand. I told my book club this, I was like, if I wasn't reading this with you guys, I would have DNF'd it.
Damn.
Um, it just like the prose were weird. Um, I could probably go on about this for a little bit, but like the second half of the book was actually really good. I really enjoyed the second half of the book, but I don't think it made up for the first half of that book. The first half of that book was a fucking slog. So I don't really recommend it unless you wanna, you know, get into something like that. Also, I don't recommend it based on the fact that this person wrote this book in a universe that was already pre-established. So like you kind of go into it like, well, what the fuck is going on? And you don't like, I think, get enough context. You get a lot of context, but not but like the story feels like it takes place in the middle of something that is already going on. So it feels kind of weird. And the author came out and said they weren't writing any more books in this universe. So I'm like, well, fuck it then. And like, I feel like this, not a waste of time, but I'm like, this kills any sort of like hope of recommending this if I were to think it was a good book. So I'm kind of glad it wasn't. Oh, speaking of DNF, I forgot that I was playing. Tim, you'll get a kick out of this probably. Quantum Break. I DNF Quantum Break.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this is just not a good game. I tried getting past the whole time shit, and I could even get past that sort of like the ensemble cast was like really great.
Mm-hmm.
The all the named people, I can't believe that Microsoft shelled out this much money for this level of production quality and like whatever. I just wish that also got focused in the gameplay loop.
Damn.
Dude, it's so fucking bad. It feels so janky, and I'm just like, what? Like, Control and Alan Wake did not play anything like this. Like, this is just bad.
So what you're
And there's
saying
a
is
lot of
I've
people who
successfully
love
only
it.
played the good ones.
You have successfully only played. I have also only successfully played the good ones. I also think it's fucking hilarious because people said that Max Payne 3 wasn't a good game when the time of this whole game came out. Like Max Payne and Quantum Break came out like roughly within like, oh no, I could be wrong. Around like 4 years, within 4 years of each other, give or take. Um, and people did not like Max Payne 3. And I guess there are people online that like loved Quantum Break, and I'm like, I don't fucking see how.
Hmm.
I don't get it. I mean, granted, like Max Payne 3 was just nothing but Rockstar. But yeah, I couldn't. I was like, this game just feels like garbage to me, and I can't stand it. Um, some additional things that I did. I'm just trying to. All right, I'm not as fast as I wanted to be. I saw Ballerina. Ballerina was mid as hell.
Damn.
Um,
That's
yeah,
sad.
if you like action stuff, it's fun, but it's not doing anything different from like any of the John Wick movies. And I would even say like I'm kind of over it now. Like these stories are getting way too ridiculous for me, and like I just don't give a shit anymore. Also, again, they're just selling Terran tactical stuff, and I'm also over that too. Yes, I'm
Mm-hmm.
aware you're selling this nice ass gun, but like it's too much. This is Spider-Man like peddling Sony products in my face all over again. I watched Old Guard 1 and 2 on Netflix. They're okay. Also, they're also mid.
I know
Um,
nothing about this franchise.
it was a comic series by Greg Rucka, who's like a very prolific comic book writer. I didn't finish it, not because I didn't like it. I just fell off. Like, I think they took a break for winter or something like that. With when I was still into comics, and I just never picked it back up again when it came off hiatus. So I don't know. The movie is fun. It doesn't do anything interesting, but it's a fun action movie. You have nothing else better to do. Charlize Theron is fun. The second movie has Uma Thurman in it, and they do some interesting stuff. They set up some interesting stuff, but it like ends abruptly. And I even said that I think in my review of it, where it had so much potential, but like I have to give it like a low. I gave it a low score because I'm like, yo, this is just like bad. Like it ends in a bad place, and it took them 4 or 5 years to crank out from like the first movie to the second movie, and there's no plan or like word of a third movie because clearly there's supposed to be like a part two of this movie, and they never announced it. So I wouldn't watch the second one unless a third one is announced, honestly. And I saw 28 Years Later, which
Yeah,
was
you did.
weird as shit. And I didn't like it as much as Liz and Leslie did.
They really enjoyed it.
They really enjoyed it, and I'm just like, I don't understand how. Like, I thought it was like not as bad as 28 Weeks Later. Like, it was better than 28 Weeks, but it definitely wasn't anything close to 28 Days. And I'm just like, I don't even know what the fuck they were trying to do. Like, I think the story was fine, actually. I think the story was like pretty well written. But like, man, whoever like decided to edit the movie the way they did, if that was a Danny Boyle decision, he needs to come up off that shit. Like, it's so bad. It's so bad. It's like I feel like Zack Snyder actually like ghost directed this movie. There are so many like slow-mo like stop things. I'm like, this is disgusting. It's terrible. So I thought it was okay, but like if you wanted to miss it, miss it, and if you somehow find yourself stumbling across it, just watch the scene with Ralph Fiennes in it. That's a given. Ralph Fiennes is an all-star. We've talked about him numerous times on this podcast.
He's quite good.
He's very good, and that's all I got.
That's everything we did in the last 5 weeks.
Wow, we actually are gonna beat 2.5 hours. Like under.
Oh, God.
We're gonna be under 2.5 hours. As long as we end it within the next 3 minutes. So thanks to everyone who sat through and listened to this. Hopefully there's at least one or two of you. But hopefully we'll be back in 2 weeks instead of 5 weeks. We'll do our best. But you know, life goes on, stuff happens. But until such time, my name is Timpedia.
Friedman.
Only Tyler.
And we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for listening.